And we are live. Welcome to the CN7 Sports Media live show, episode 6, mega episode. We have so much planned out for this big episode today. All the boys are getting together, ready to go. We are super excited for you guys to be able to join us. If you are new here, if you are new in the chat, welcome. We love you. Even if there's one person to 10 people, we love you. We are so excited that you guys have come to join us in this journey. And nonetheless, I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to give it away to the legends. First and foremost, as always, and if you're new, get used to him because he's awesome. My childhood best friend. I love the guy to death. Caleb!
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. First live. Excited to get to it. A lot of topics to talk about. And I'm just ready to get rolling.
And nonetheless, the goat of clips, the clip god himself, Tomas!
What's up, everybody, bro? I'm ready to get some more clips rolling, but first off, I got to tell you guys to like and subscribe, guys. Let's lock it in.
And nonetheless, the OG, the guy who can't beat me at basketball to save his life, but also one of the best graphic designers and presenters I know, Lucas!
What is up, everyone? Excited for today's pod. Going live, baby. This is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
And last but not least, the guy who's running this whole show, the guy who's making sure that these things running smoothly so y'all have the best viewing experience possible, and the best audio guy I know, Christian.
What's up, everyone? Glad to be here. I'm excited to be here for another episode. So let's get this thing going.
Awesome, awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give you our episode 6 rundown. So first and foremost, we are going to talk about a quick little thing that's been going on in high school recruiting lately. It's going to be very interesting, especially with AI nowadays. Next, we're going to do our post combine risers. That'll be led by Tomas and Caleb. And then also we will do, if you missed it, we will do our CN7 Sports Media post combine mock draft. And Caleb, Tomas, and Lucas will take us on their NFL quickfires. There's a lot that's been going on in the off season, especially with trade deadlines, franchise tags, transition tags, this, that, and the third. You name it, they got it. Next thing, Lucas and Christian will take us through our CN7 Sports Media March Madness early bracket because we're in March. It's prime time, baby. Get your brackets ready because we already got ours ready. Next, big fight this weekend. Yes, this is a new category that we're bringing in. UFC 326, Holloway versus Oliveira for the BMF belt. I'm not going to say the full abbreviation because we might get canceled, but nonetheless, this is going to be an exciting fight. Two of the baddest mother lovers on the planet are going to go head to head this Saturday. Next, Lucas and Christian are going to take us through soccer and what's going on with the UEFA Champion League that is right around the corner. And lastly, as always, we will be talking about Formula One. Caleb and Tomas will actually be giving us their insight on what is going on and what they liked about Drive to Survive. And also me, Lucas, and Christian will talk about the upcoming season that starts the first race that is on Saturday. Awesome. Now that we got the full recap going, you'll know how much of a big episode this is. We love you guys. Let's get started. So, boys, high school recruits are starting to use AI for their film and sending them to recruiters. What do you think about that? That's some crazy stuff. Luke has actual video for y'all to react to.
That's crazy.
So, Caleb, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh my God. When you guys first brought this up to me, I didn't even believe it. I didn't even hear that people were doing this. And then now just looking at it, me and Tomas were making a joke the other day over the phone, like, imagine being an 80-year-old recruiter for a fucking college and you're looking at this film and you're like, man, this kid's good. But it's freaking AI, man. And that's just wild. I didn't hear anything about this until this segment got brought up. And it's just hilarious to me. Moss?
Yeah, man. I mean, AI in film is crazy, bro. I know I saw a thing that some kid actually did get an offer from doing this, but then someone in their hometown said that play did not happen, and he got exposed for it and actually got like blacklisted from recruiting. So definitely don't do it. It's not worth wasting your career over. Realistically, guys, like let's not AI generate some clips and not be good at football.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's the world we live in, AI. But man, there's some stuff that you just cannot use AI for. This has probably got to be top five. It's, I don't care what you use. I don't care if you got Chat GPT Plus or whatever it is you got. Nothing beats real film. I mean, I get it's easy. I'm sure before you take months of highlights, do it just by yourself, put it all together, and now you can submit it, and boom, it's done in what, less than an hour or so. And it's funny. You can't help but laugh at it, and hopefully, yeah, these kids just just go back to just doing it by themselves and getting actual film and not this fake stuff here.
Christian.
Yo, did you just call me Chris?
I'm sorry.
Yo, come on, bro.
My bad. You know what? Fire me.
Yeah, sorry, dude. We're gonna get you out. But with the AI thing, I didn't know what to expect. Really, when y'all said AI clips, I didn't know if there was really gonna be a big difference in as far as video quality and all that stuff. I mean, the videos that we saw, I mean, it looked like a normal clip, but then, like Tomas said, when you go and people actually see him, they're like, dude, that play didn't even happen in the game. It's like, man, well, what things are the AI is going to do to help improve your chances of getting recruited by someone? And then imagine you get recruited by this school and you go and try out, and the coach is like, this talent was what you're showing here is not what was in the video. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you said about like how AI, every year, or shoot, every day AI advances as a whole, you know, and it's crazy because of the fact that like when people first watched that video, they were like, "Oh my gosh, this looks real," right? Except for the fact that the quarterback threw it like to freaking Mount Everest and back down, but nonetheless, like think about how real that looks in the sense that like when AI gets advances, let's say like in a year from now, right? Dude, that is going to be very hard to tell. Even now, it's hard to tell. But imagine next year, when these new LLMs come out and these new AI models come out. It's going to very much ruin recruiting for high schoolers as it is. I mean, high school recruiting right now is dang near ruined already because of NIL. But think about how much diminished value high school recruiting will have. Because you can't do the whole AI, scouting reports in college because everything is on TV. What do y'all think?
Yeah, to think about it a year from now to how advanced AI will be even further, I see your point. It's just a wild thing to see AI film. And then yeah, how are you going to be able to tell the difference? You're going to have to start running freaking huddle highlights through some AI detector at this point. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just wild that it comes to this moment to have to probably program an AI detector to see if clips are real or fake. But also, one thing AI might mess up is coaching. I think AI, if they can see the formation, I think they'll probably someone will make one that will 100% detect what play it's going to be, if it's going to be a run or pass. But yeah, AI in football should not be a thing.
Yeah, 100% agree. yeah, like you said, Marcus, in a year, I mean, shoot, even in a month, 2 months, like you don't know where in the world it's gonna, and AI is just gonna keep growing itself. It's one of those things where it's like it once it gets going, it just keeps going, 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 and going. And so, but yeah, I agree with Tomas. That's another topic that it's not even on the video, but coaching, man. Like, I mean, you already have it now to where colleges, players have tablets looking at plays right away. But yeah, for AI to, there's not gonna be no more secrecy, no more fakes, no more nothing. So it's gonna be. I think they should keep it AI for homework as I use it for, and that's about it.
That's what I was just about
Luke,
to
you
say.
can't be exposing us.
Well, and then wait, even like for me, for example, for when I do my work for copyright issues, before I turn it in, and then it goes through a software to where it makes sure I'm not copywriting or anything like that. Except now, just thinking about that with AI now, it's gonna be like, holy cow, they're gonna put videos into a software to make sure it's not AI edited. It's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah. The whole model of AI, in sports, they're already using it for analytics, which I think is killing jobs as a whole. But I genuinely don't like it. I think it's like I think real people like you guys. If y'all don't know, Tomas and Caleb are stats guys, and also Alvin, especially when it comes to the fall, they're going to be our stats guys. I will never replace them, or even think about replacing them when it comes to AI. Because that takes away the personality of it. When I get a scouting report from my guys, I can tell how much love and effort and care that they put into that scouting report. I wouldn't want that. And I know the NFL, they're going to do everything that they can to make as much money as possible and save as much money as possible. So that is one of the only worries that I have. Speaking of NFL, Tomas and Caleb, take it away on the risers.
Man, what an awesome combine we had. We've seen a lot of athleticism all over the charts from every position, from quarterbacks, offensive linemen. Of course, the combine isn't everything. You have your athletes but still don't turn out in the NFL. Like John Ross runs a fast 40, but where is he now? He's playing in the UFL. But speaking of that, we can pull up the slide. Let's see, Taylen Green. So this is my first riser right here with quarterback Taylen Green from Arkansas. He ran a 4.36 40-yard dash, which was first out of all quarterbacks. Jumped a 43.50 vertical, first out of all quarterbacks. An 11.2 broad jump, which was first out of all quarterbacks. Mind you that this dude is 6'6" also. He's a big quarterback. On my notes that I have here pulled up of Taylen Green, Taylen Green he's a huge quarterback, saying at 6'6", weighing 227 pounds. Obviously, a dual threat quarterback with that speed. His playmaking ability, that's his best attribute when he's rolling out of the pocket, doing everything himself. He also does has some big how would you say it, some big throw ability in him. His accuracy wasn't the best in college. It was just barely at 60% completion rating. But his weaknesses, his downsides to him is he needs to protect the ball better. Had 11 interceptions on the year at Arkansas. Had 22 turnover worthy plays at Arkansas. His decision making, and he's kind of just reckless with the ball, just throwing it up there. Um, I already went to his weak completion rating, but him going into the NFL, I have a ceiling and a floor for him, and a floor I can compare him to Terrell Pryor. It's kind of the same situation. Terrell Pryor was a third round pick out of Ohio. He got drafted. He was a quarterback. Got drafted to the Raiders, and he got converted into a wide receiver. So this is the same thing that can happen to him. This is his floor, but his ceiling, which I can say he can turn into a 2015 Cam Newton. Boys,
Yeah, I love how he performed at the combine. Honestly, I think he was definitely one of the biggest risers of the draft. I mean, I could see a team realistically taking him in round two just as a project QB. Some of the to sit behind, and if he doesn't turn into the QB, I say he could switch positions. Um, if he does, he could still make a lot of money in the league. Maybe a tight end or a receiver if he has that ability. I mean, he has the athleticism to do that if he really wanted to. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing that every team wants is a mobile quarterback, and when you got the athleticism that this guy has, it's peak. You know, you thinking of a guy who's, you got Josh Allen with running like the speed of Lamar. Like those are just some things that you can't look past. But also at the same time, like Caleb mentioned, with his turnovers, that's also gonna weigh on the scale. Like, all right, this dude got the athletic ability, but can he keep the ball for us and not turn it over so much? But of course, that all comes with QB coaching and training and stuff. And I think he has great potential to go somewhere pretty good and make a pretty good career for himself.
So after seeing everything, where do y'all think his landing spot will be?
Oh, I think he's a real big project quarterback right now. I seen someone do a mock draft and they think he would go to the Giants. Um, Shoot, you know what? Give me the Dolphins. I'll say the Dolphins.
If I had to go for a team, I'd probably say be pretty raw. Team back up the Colts quarterback. Just a little project guy. They almost made the playoffs. So yeah, I think they have the ability to draft somebody like that.
So wait, you're saying like Dolphins to kind of back up Quinn? Because right now, like, did the Dolphins let go of Tua, right?
They
Or
plan on to.
okay, okay. So where do you see that turnaround? Like, if Quinn doesn't do as good as they would like him to, which we all know Quinn. I love Quinn to death. I say he's a Texas legend. My dad probably might agree with me with that one as well. Um, and I see Quinn having a very bright future at the Dolphins. But where do you think that turnaround could possibly be? The turnaround with quarterbacks in the NFL is like so sudden. Like if you're not doing your job, it's either they take forever to replace you, or they're gonna replace you immediately, no matter what your name is, no matter what you've done. Um, what do y'all think?
Yeah, the quarterbacks have a very short lease. I would really give them 2 to 3 years. Like you got to really come out and play your best, show that you're the guy to lead the team and win games. I mean, I'm gonna have to throw some shade on you, Marcus, but let's look at the Vikings right now. JJ McCarthy is a third-year guy, and it's already saying the Vikings are kind of like, hey, let's start looking for someone to compete. They say with JJ, but it's more of like they want someone else, you know?
To be fair, to be fair, Alvin was fully advocating for this handoff merchant. All right, I was completely against having a handoff merchant. I was fully for the Vikings keeping Sam. And we've already talked about this in previous episodes. So me, I don't see it as a shade. But Kyler Murray is there, and KOC is a quarterback whisperer. So we will see. Mind you, Kyler hasn't had the best time in Arizona. And I would hope that with paired with a wide receiver core like the Vikings with Jalen Naylor, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and uh, Jay Jettas, Justin Jefferson, I would hope that he could hopefully reignite that fire that he had when he first came out. The man, if y'all don't remember, the man had the offer to go to either NFL or MLB. So he's a really good athlete. Um, so yeah, that's my only hope, to be honest. Tomas.
Chud.
What do you want to talk about? Quinn Ewers or the
Yeah,
Vikings?
yeah. Quinn Ewers.
Okay, so Quinn Ewers, he had some flashes last season whenever he did play, but I don't know. I think you just if you're Miami, you just tank for another year and you draft one of the quarterbacks in the next class, maybe an Arch Manning. I don't know.
Luke.
Yeah, I think 20 years. I mean, obviously, I didn't watch much Dolphins football. I don't really watch much AFC side of the ball. Um, but I mean, I watched some clips. I think he's all right. He's pretty mid. Like I said, I haven't seen enough greatness out of him to be like, I think he's gonna be good versus he's gonna be bad. I think, of course, if he got the starting spot, that means he's got something to prove. But I think I think there's definitely better quarterbacks out there, but as long as he's got and keeps working on it, I mean, I think anybody can become great. So
Paco, if y'all know, if our fans don't, like our audience doesn't know Paco, but we know Paco, freaking legend of Lovington. He asked, "What about Spencer?" I'm assuming Spencer Rattler. Do y'all know Caleb?
Yeah, Spencer Rattler. I think Tyler Shaw that job. So right now, I'm not gonna say permanently, but right now that's Tyler Shaw's job. Spencer Rattler's gonna be back behind him. Would a team really go out and get Spencer? I wouldn't say no. I mean, I'm sorry. I wouldn't like doubt it. I think a team can definitely go out and get Spencer Rattler. I was reading something the other day, and there's teams that are calling for. Um, I don't want to mess up his first name, but Stidham, the Broncos' backup quarterback. And I'm like, that dude is like played one game in the playoffs and wasn't even that great. So I would think that you would more want to go the route behind Spencer before you go for a guy like him. But
Mm-hmm.
and Spencer Rattler is very young. I don't think I would give up on him just quite yet. Maybe like you said, you get put in the right system, development. I also want to jump to like talking about development. Anthony Richardson. I'm a big fan of him, and I think that if he also gets put in a good system, I would like Minnesota. I think if Anthony Richardson goes to Minnesota, is put in an elite room like how you said, I think he can beat JJ McCarthy out. I think that dude can. Anthony Richardson can ball. He's athletic. He has a big time arm. He in his rookie year, he had some injuries. I would say pre-injury, his rookie year, he was doing better than CJ Stroud. And CJ Stroud's rookie year was lights out. But then Anthony Richardson got hurt, second year got hurt. Then it just kind of started going downhill. Daniel Jones came in, and I just think this guy. I'm a big fan of Anthony Richardson. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it just sucks for Rattler to get kind of replaced like by Tyler, of course. But there's just some things that are out of your hand, and I think he does back him up for the rest of his contract. But I think once it's up, I think that'll be it for him and his time in on the Saints, of course.
Yeah. Sorry. Throughout the show, I'm gonna slowly commentate on chat. Uh, so to answer Paco's, he wasn't talking about Spencer, but it was Spencer Rattler. But that was a really
Disgust.
good. Yeah, that was a
I
really
saw it.
good one. Spencer James.
Brother, that's a Netflix show. Marcus, he's fucking with
Sorry,
you.
I'm sorry, guys.
Um, dude,
I'm
but I'm
sorry.
getting a gentle Giants question. He is walking class. I ain't gonna lie about that. Anthony Richardson is very injury prone. If I'm just, I'm sorry, gentle Giant man. I'm just a fan of Anthony Richardson. He is a freaking piece of walking class. So gets hurt so easy. Lucas,
yeah, I like Anthony Richardson too. I think he really didn't get to show too much there in Indianapolis, but I think he has great potential. Like I said, he's got injuries, man. Those things they just come back and they never stop haunting you, man. And um, I just I hope he goes somewhere good. I hope he makes a difference wherever he goes. But like I said, yeah, injuries, man. Like it's just regardless of position, you get hurt, especially if I'd rather have one solid injury than have an injury that comes back, every now and then, and it's something you just can't get rid of. For example, I know a lot of people say like shin splits. Like I know those things are a pain in the butt to get rid of. Never had them, thankfully, but like I've heard players, missing up to like weeks of practice or playing because they can't, like that pain just comes back in. So but yeah, injury wise, I don't know. Anthony Richardson, I think he's a great quarterback. Got great potential, and hopefully he does good wherever he lands.
Christian.
Yeah, and so pretty much the type of talent that you are definitely depends too with coaching staff and the who you go with will definitely make a huge difference in your landing spot in the NFL. Because I mean, we've seen countless quarterbacks go to teams like Sam Darnold is a perfect example. He spent countless years in New York, didn't really accomplish anything there. Ends up going to Minnesota a few years later. Minnesota has a great season. Minnesota moves off of him. He ends up going to Seattle, has a wonderful season there. Ends up winning a Super Bowl there. And so, whenever you're building your talent or whatever, you want to make sure that you're with a great coach, a great quarterback coach, and even head coach too. That's one that's gonna be there to build you up, to lift you up, to encourage you to say, all right, let's go, keep putting in the work, and knows that someone and have a coach that believes in you and pushes you to strive to be your best helps a lot. And so I mean, and again too, like the guy said, that the time frame on a quarterback is very, very short. So your landing spot does matter. It really does matter.
And speaking of time frame, the draft is coming up. And a lot of these guys, they could either have a really short time frame or a really long time frame. We never know. They could be ticking time bombs or they could be the greatest thing to happen in football. Without further ado, speaking of that, the CN7 Sports Media post combine mock draft. We did it last time. This one's going to be better than ever. So just give us a sec. We're going to get this set up and we're going to be good to go.
Awesome. Let's get this mock draft set up, guys. Let's get this set up. I guess going to some more questions here. We had gotten asked, where do we think Kyler Murray will land? Kyler Murray.
If you want to, Lucas, just go to that slide and we can just talk about it right now. Since we're setting up the mock draft.
Yeah. I guess, but while we set it up too, I have some other slides that we can get to as well. But Chacho, this is your slide, bro. Go ahead and take it over and we'll bounce off of you.
All right, man. Well, this is my top landing spots for Kyler Murray. Of course, the Jets at 2, they can't really draft a quarterback. You don't really have a quarterback in that room. Maybe you go for Will Levis. Really matters how free agency goes out, but man, him on the Jets would be pretty nice, man. Especially with the receiver core they have. They franchise tag their running back, and they do have a decent O line. The Vikings, same thing. Great receiver core, QB whisperer, like Marcus said, their coach. Man, he could have like a Sam Darnold type of season, if he goes to Minnesota, I feel like. And if the Dolphins really do want to compete, I think they have to pick up Kyler Murray for sure.
Yeah, I like these landing destinations. New York does seem like a very good spot for him at 2. Because they are drafting at 2. Minnesota, when I think about Minnesota, I think about that clip we all seen where Kyler Murray's like, I like Minnesota, The Dolphins, how are the Dolphins cap space going to look after cutting Tua? Because I think they're going to take on a lot of dead money, aren't they? They're going to lose out on a lot of money.
That's a big budget. That's a big. I think they paid Tua like way too much. Didn't they sign him for like a 5-year max or something like that for like 100 something mil?
Yeah, that's a really expensive backup quarterback.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. Lucas, can we pull up the Arkansas running back? Sorry, I'm trying to create this room real quick so we can do this draft also. There we go. Cool, yeah. So for you guys that did not watch the NFL Combine or if it just been not keeping up with it, this right here is Mike Williams Jr. and he was also just a killer at the Combine, just along the quarterback that we were just talking about a while ago, Taylen Green. Williams Jr., man, just killed it all around, was first in the 40, first in the broad jump, first in the vert. He also just had a very wonderful season at Arkansas. He rushed for 1,000 yards. I think he had 9 touchdowns on the year. He's just a very explosive guy. I think he had some fumble kind of concerns about holding on to the ball. But I think this is kind of like my steal right here. There's a lot of talented running backs in the draft. We already know number one, Jeremiah Love. I don't even need to touch on that guy. We just know he's the best. But Katron Allen from Penn, um, Tomas is one of Tomas's favorite guys. Emmett Johnson, um, who is Coleman from Washington. There's a lot of guys, a lot of running backs in this draft that I feel like are kind of slept on. Emmett Johnson is one of my favorites. Thing that just scares me that he's a 1 year wonder. He just had that one great year in Nebraska. Is that going to carry on to the next level? And I guess you could say that the same here with Williams Jr. He bounced around from little schools, and then he just kind of popped off here at Arkansas. Voice?
Yeah, man. He definitely had one of the most surprising or more surprising combine performances. I'd say maybe putting him in RB2. Perfect landing spot for him. I'd say if they're lucky enough to land him in the second round, would be like Seattle if they don't find a running back. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. If not, man, I think he definitely goes round two, round three. He definitely jumped up a lot of people's boards, and definitely a lot of placements in his position for sure.
Yeah, I agree with Miles. I was gonna say Seattle, of course. Needing running backs as of right now, I think a perfect spot for him to land. Um, Hopefully, not too many teams are needing quarterbacks. I know, like I said, Seattle is definitely a top five team that needs one. Um, I hope I hope we can land someone like him. Like I said, I didn't watch much of him. In all honesty, I don't know too much about him, but take God's word for it. And if he's a good running back, then a good running back sounds good to have in Seattle.
And the thing is too with running
Yeah.
backs, you see a lot more now too, where they're not signing these major contracts like how they used to. So in the instance with K9, for example, he just got done being the Super Bowl MVP, and it may look like he may move on to a different team. And so I mean, running backs when they're going to sign these contracts, you're not really seeing these big contracts or these big contract extensions like how we used to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is pretty crazy. Let me see. Gentle Giant said, "Do you think Jacob Rodriguez went to Mesquite like Patrick Mahomes?" That's so funny. Gilbert back in Mesquite.
Man, Mesquites. The,
Skeet
me and some
Skeeters.
moss. Me and some moss went drinking there in Mesquites. I think we have that picture where we took that picture actually.
Yeah. Um, Man, Jacob Rodriguez. I don't think he was a Mesquite kind of guy. I think he was more of a crickets dude or rodeo fool. Kind of a cowboyish. I
like
think
a
he
like a
was
dance
like,
hall.
I think he was more of
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
PT's kind of guy.
Ah, yeah, maybe more of a. I would have seen him there if that was the case.
Bro, that's just so funny.
Did
All right.
everybody get into the mod?
I think I think Christian's still trying to get in. Christian, did you manage to get in? No? Okay. So how this goes is that you go into all tools, and then even though it has a lock on it, it'll be mock draft simulator. And then from there to once you click on that, it'll be mock draft simulator multiplayer. And then it'll give you option to enter in a room. And then Caleb already sent it through to us.
I think we're missing Lucas in here too.
It says I got 3 people in here.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
in,
what's
and then
wait? What's
Caleb's
the
in.
That's me.
what's the website?
PFF.
The PFF.
Yeah, I knew it was something.
We getting this mock draft post combine mock draft coming up. Man,
We caught up on all the comments, right, guys? I haven't checked
Yeah,
them.
Paco said that I'm a Cowboys fan. He knows dang well.
Okay.
No.
Secretly a Cowboys fan, Marcus. I mean, makes sense, bro. You're a Texas fan, so
No,
keep it in
no,
the
no, no,
in
no,
the
no.
state.
I support the Spurs, kind of. I support Longhorns and everything they
Oh
do.
shit! I just broke my chair. Oh my god! Ain't no way that just happened.
Oh.
What the fuck? Holy shit! I almost broke my fucking back. Ain't no way, bro. I snapped that shit.
On live too is crazy.
Fuck it. Bring in the viewers, man.
Not Caleb clip farming on accident.
God,
Holy,
bro.
Caleb might be pulling around. He might be clip farming.
I just fucking broke my damn back.
Dang, and you work tomorrow. Oh, just take the day off, bro. Just take the day off.
Oh fuck. I'm gonna put that shit on the J's thing.
Oh dang! Oh my gosh! You okay?
I'm good.
It's a good thing we have a great insurance policy here.
Uh, I can't believe that shit just happened.
He said, "Dang, weak ass chair."
Caleb, bro, you make the boss money, man. Why aren't you getting like hard metal chairs or something?
I'm gonna have to weld that shit to the floor.
Timu all chairs, Caleb orders off of Chinese websites.
I'm gonna have to go back and someone needs to clip that shit.
Bro. Dude, that was a Paw Patrol chair that broke.
Crazy.
Oh shoot! Wait.
Yeah, I'll put the thing in the group chat one more time.
Okay. Okay.
Ain't no way.
Wait, okay, wait. Really quick, I know we're all laughing. So when you go to the thing, you go to, is it mock draft simulator?
Yeah, and then it'll be
Yeah,
the
that's-
mock draft simulator multiplayer, and then from there it'll give you the option to join a room.
There it is. There it is, boys.
Cool.
Okay. Christian, you're in here as well, right? Okay.
Is it just gonna be us four? Christian, are you trying to get in or you just no? Okay, so just us four. Who's gonna screen share their screen so that they can see the mock draft?
Whatchamacallit? Well, I have it on my tablet. Oh, okay. There's
Lucas.
yeah. Paco said looked up. Kilo was on the ground.
Yeah.
Bro, first live stream and Caleb clip farmed, bro, just naturally.
All right, boys. So yeah, I just gotta wait up on y'all to ready up and I can start it. Oh, Luke, you gotta take Seattle, bro. You can take your Seattle's open. There you go.
Yes, Seattle. Then just,
Mm.
I think the rest of them are.
Oh, I gotta select them out there. That's why. Now we can enter the draft when we're ready now. Doing those last
Oh.
one. All right, we're ready up. Oh, is someone gonna share the screen so they can see? My bad. Someone needs to try it.
Luke, can you do it?
Yeah, I got you. I can, let me get it
Okay.
going.
Boom.
Wait,
we ready.
Can somebody play the combine, you know, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da.
The NFL draft intro.
Not do that.
Caleb, can you get the little jingle?
Pull
Find
it
it
up.
real
Y'all
quick.
gonna get copyrighted real quick.
We're live, it can't happen. All right, cool. All right.
Alrighty, let's,
Sorry for
let's
the
kick it
delay,
off.
guys. We have 12 viewers in here. That is awesome. We love
Ready
all of
to
you.
get up?
Ready it up? All right. Where's the da-da-da? No, I'm just kidding. All right. So with our first pick in the CN7 Sports Media mock draft, I will go first. The most automatic, even though lately it's been looking like Jets might try their best to get Fernando, nonetheless, this is the most automatic first round pick. Fernando Mendoza, You are a Raider.
Man, I would have taken Carson back. I'm just
Oh,
playing. I'm just
Not happening. And I also have pick two. I think this one's a very good pick. Even though at the combine, everybody was talking about his arm length, but then again, one of the greatest edge rushers, if not probably the greatest of all time, Aaron Donald. He was measured to have short arms, and look how great he did, and look at the illustrious career he had. So Jets. I'm gonna go and give him Ruben Bain.
Ruben Bain. Here we are. Arizona Cardinals. There's a lot of talk that they may take Jeremiah Love at 3 here, but personally, I just wouldn't take a freaking running back at pick number 3. Jeremiah Love, regardless, is such a good player. I just think if they are trying to get him, possibly just try to trade down. Um, this one's almost a tricky one because I think I just have to go with what I went with last time and stick to my guns. I'm gonna go Francis here.
man, Tennessee with pick 4 here. I know this is gonna be seem crazy, but the same thing happens with Jameer Gibbs is what's gonna happen with Jeremiah Love, and he's getting taken at 4.
Oh wow,
All right, my turn. Am I muted or am I unmuted?
you're good.
Okay, cool. I couldn't see. New York. Um, I think I'm gonna take a wide receiver for them. I think that I actually saw something on Instagram recently that Odell was supposedly spreading rumors about going back there. But I'm gonna take the number one receiver in the draft, Carnell Tate.
Bro stole my pick, and after what we saw with interviews and how he was acting at the combine, Makai Lemon was projected to go somewhere around here, but after that, I think his draft stock fell. I'm still gonna go ahead and give the Browns a wide receiver, someone that can help out with Shador or whoever they draft, or whoever they got in that quarterback room. But because they can't keep relying on Jared Judy, um, they need to grab Shador help. So I'm gonna go ahead and draft Jordan Tyson.
All right, Washington. There's two guys I have my eyes on here right now, and they're man, almost I guess you can say 3, and they're all from the Ohio State University. Right here, I could go Caleb Downs so easy, but after hearing about the meniscus tear and the degenerative ACL, do you go Caleb Downs here, or do you think he's gonna fall in the draft, kind of like what we saw with Will? What was it, Will Johnson, right, last year? Like, what is that possibly something we can see again? And then another take that we can say is Sonny Styles the better linebacker, or is Arvell Reese still number 1? Because Sonny Styles just came out in the combine and he just showed that he is a freaking unit. Freaking 6'4", Jack just ran a freaking what was it 4.47. He's giving him first off the board, Sonny Styles.
Dang. So here the Saints definitely need help on the pass rush, and who better to do that than David Bailey?
Wow, here we go. My Chiefs on the clock. Man, I think this is kind of the new first round pick for me, one that I have never done. But as of today, the Chiefs just traded Trent McDuffie, so we're gonna go out and get Mansur Delane.
Solid. Who's on the Bengals? Who's
That's me,
Bengals
my
pick?
bad. That's me,
Oh,
my bad, my bad. Right here, this is almost an easy pick. I can go Caleb Downs again, but how far? I'm gonna chime in with y'all's opinion. How far do y'all think realistically is Caleb Downs gonna drop because of his medical?
hey, I think the Vikings pick him up as a steal. If
He's
he
not
drops,
passing well, son.
hey, we never know. We never know. But hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Because I think the Bengals will love Caleb Downs right here. I think this is perfect for them. Kind of crazy to me that Arvell Reese is still on the board too. I gotta go Caleb Downs.
Man, the fact that Arvell Reese is here and like I just might have to take him just because. value wise, I mean, Dolphins just need to get someone in there that could, help them this year, but also help them later on in the future. I know shows that linebacker isn't really that much of importance right now, but man, you can't pass up Anval Reeves.
All right, now the Cowboys. Let's see. Cowboys would probably be lucky enough to take anything. They lost Micah last season. Their Jerry has is like one of the most stingiest guys. But nonetheless, like what do we really think the Cowboys need? I mean, they need a lot. But their line, if I'm being honest, the line isn't getting any younger. But also there's a good starting place, for defense. So I'm gonna go ahead and draft CJ Allen from out of the University of Georgia.
The Rams. The Rams. Here we go. Big number 13 in the draft. They say they need a tackle, they need a corner. Another kind of thing with me with Jared McCoy, you're looking at, yeah, he's a good corner, but you're talking about a guy that didn't take any snaps in 2025. He tore his ACL and he didn't play this 2025 season, but yet he's still top 15 pick. That's the injury things with me, man. I'm just like, shit, do you really go get a guy? Give me Makai Lemon here.
Oh,
Man,
oh,
one thing I have to say here is that former Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter loves his athletic D tackles, and what we saw at the combine was Caleb Banks, doing crazy athletic stuff. So give me Caleb Banks here. It's a perfect fit for the Ravens. They need D line, and uh, head coaches probably love him too.
all right. On the clock, we have the Tampa Bay Bucks. So this is gonna be an interesting one. It's looking like they definitely need some help on offense with especially with their tight ends, their guards, but also it's looking like defense really needs the help. So I'm gonna give them out of the University of Tennessee, the fake UT, Jermod McCoy. Oh, and I am also next. I am also
Rattler.
next. Jets, we're just going to keep adding on to the defense. So I'm going to go ahead and give them Avion Taylor out of the University of Clemson.
Maybe on Taylor. So now we got the Detroit Lions. I'm a big fan of Akeem Mesidor. I think it's just an also kind of age thing. He's going to be 24 years old. He's in his rookie year, but he's a sack freak. It's O line. It's going a big man for sure right here for me at 17. I'm looking at Akeem Mesidor. I'm looking at Spencer Fanu.
Spencer Fanu is a freaking steal. Like we've been talking about this dude for a long time.
And Spencer Fanu playing tackle with these guys makes sense too. But do you just load up on the defense and get some edge help? Spencer Fanu.
Hey, great steal. And now my Vikings. My Vikings. Oh, this is tough. We just let the hitman go. The hitman just retired. We didn't let him go. He just called it a day. He hung up the cleats, and I think I picked him last time. But give me Dylan Theineman out of Oregon.
The Panthers. The Panthers. You can go D line right here, wide receiver, linebacker. My picks, man. Akeem Mesidor. Does PFF change their draft order pretty drastically? I feel like after the combine, Akeem Mesidor is already ranked 16. It's like the age thing. Like he's a baller. Keldrick Falk is a straight up run stopper. Howell's a pass rusher. He gets to the quarterback. Do you go with the younger guy in Howell or do you go get Akeem Mesidor? Kind of just wonder what everybody thinks. I have to go Howell here.
That's good. That's a good. And we've been praising this guy out of the University of Auburn. This is like Paco commented. They need a whole new team. Well, we're working on getting him a whole new defense. Go ahead and give me Keldrick Falk out of University of Auburn. Tomas, it's your Chargers.
And the Chargers pick is kind of simple here. It's just Vega. Vega every single mock draft.
All right. So Eagles. Obviously, they didn't have the greatest season this past year, and they're definitely going to need some help. Their defense, especially, they're not getting any younger. They're going to need some fresh legs in there. So give me Akeem Mesidor out of University of Miami, and I am also next for the Browns.
Hakeem Mesidor just seems like he'd be an Eagle too.
Yeah, he definitely gives Eagle vibes. And for the Browns, like I said, we're trying to give Shador a receiver core. And what better way to do it than give him Denzel Washington or Denzel Boston out of Washington? And who made oh dang, Katie McDonald. Oh, who was the Bears pick?
That one was, I think, just
Oh, just random.
AI.
All right.
None of us picked that one.
All right. Bills. Bills. This is a tough one. I know for a fact that their defense is straight bunions. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go give him Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech.
Wow, and the Niners here just there's no way you're letting this guy fall. I don't care if you have George Kittle. Give me Kenyon Sadiq.
Oh man.
A mineral feeling is a really good pick for the AI right there, actually.
That kind of pissed me off. I mean, because the Chiefs just made a blockbuster trade today with trading Trey McDuffie and got a huge load of picks from the Rams, having 2 first-round picks in this draft. I texted Tomas right away and I was like, hey, maybe Jeremiah Love at 9 and Kenyon Sadiq at 29. Man, I think that's where Kenyon Sadiq should probably be right here.
I think Sadiq honestly is a top 15 pick. I'm surprised he
Well, yeah, he did kill out the combine. I think the Chiefs can just go a lot of ways right here. So I went corner at 9. The Chiefs do need help on the D line. Like you can go get TJ Parker. He's just kind of another run stopper type of end. You can go tackle here. Got to replace. But I'm gonna go Casey Concepcion.
That's a good pick, Kilo. That's a really good pick. As I'm looking, trying to figure out what the Broncos need. Obviously, we know that how good their defense was last year, and man, the running back class. You guys have already picked up some of the great ones. But hey, you know what? This might be a terrible pick, but Ty Simpson is still on the board. Why not go for Ty Simpson? Ty Simpson, come on now. But nonetheless, you could say Ty Simpson, but hook 'em horns. We're going Anthony Hill freaking Jr. out of the University of Texas.
Marcus will be fired as a GM the first week. He was a
Marcus is getting the team sold, bro. He just got fired. Nobody's gonna be a fan of the Broncos no more, bro.
I think that's just such a wild pick. I lost my train of thought. I think I'm gonna take Max out of Arizona for tackle. I think his combine performance, especially with his 10-yard shuffle, he did really well. And I think he just barely inches into the first round.
All right. Last final pick. Seattle going defense here. I know running back's the issue, but I think defense is gonna um stay on it. So I think I really like this guy during the draft. I think hearing them relate him to Nick Imenwari is kind of exciting to hear. He's positioned as a safety, but knowing the way Seattle is able to just turn some players around and make them just absolute just units on the field, I'm gonna go Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
Solid, solid. Boys, as always, that was freaking fun. Now, this is the official CN7 Sports Media mock draft. This is final. It's not going to change, but we will go ahead and compare this to the actual NFL draft.
I knew it. The Broncos are gonna be in that. I knew it, bro. Marcus is fire.
It's a good thing
Can one
I'm
of
not a
y'all
GM.
get the full results? If you go to full results, I'm gonna get a screenshot of that. So
Full results. Let me see. Wait, where is it at?
Yeah, they're probably
so it shows draft results and then your results and then you can also do I found it. You can go to your results and it'll show the whole draft.
Where is it at? Let me see.
You could just
Oh,
download
here.
them
Oh,
if
right
you
here, right
have
Hey,
it.
my pick for the Vikings was A plus.
There.
That's all. Hey,
Do you want me to download it and send it?
Yeah, download it. Yeah, please. Or
Download
save
image.
the not that one
The copy
on
image.
your results where it says no where it shows your results because that's actual the players. Or
Oh,
go
this
to
one right here.
yeah.
I can't fit the whole picture in the frame.
I think if you like save image, it'll download the whole thing like that.
I downloaded like this. Oh, here it is. Right here, download image. Okay, I got it downloaded and I'll send it.
awesome. Awesome.
Nice.
So that was the official CN7 Sports Media mock draft brought to you by nobody because we don't have sponsors, but brought to you by the greatest sports media team of all freaking time. Next, we're going to go straight into some NFL quickfire. Caleb, Tomas, Lucas, what's going on?
Let's pull up that graphic, dog. Let's get them Chiefs.
Yeah.
up
Also,
there.
reading some of these comments. Can I skip the Niners pick? I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. Vikings are washed. Okay. Morgan Freeman.
I mean, other than the man, Frankie the Steppa himself, who are the Chiefs going to get with the 2 first-round picks that they just got? Because, up here, I made this the other day, so obviously they could have added some more other players. I didn't know the Chiefs were going to go out and get 2 first-round picks. But, yeah, you have Jeremiah Love, Carnell Tate, Ruben Bain, David Bailey. I don't think any edges will be available by 9. I think David Bailey's going to jump off the board. I think Ruben Bain's going to jump off the board. I think that's why I have Carnell Tate up here, actually. I think Carnell Tate has a pretty good chance of being there at 9. Jordan Tyson, I'm pretty sure, will be there at 9. I think it'll more be offensive weapons for the Chiefs. I think even Spencer Fanu, I've been saying that one a lot too. The Chiefs can go Spencer Fanu at 9, especially after the cut of Jawan Taylor. Obviously, more and more talk will get brought up around free agency because once it's all said and done, we will know kind of the direction of what teams need to really go. There's a lot of holes that the Chiefs need to fill. Running backs, and that's the number 1 priority. I think offensive tackles 2. That's real debatable with the D line. The D line is 3 for me. Man, that's why I'd just be curious to see everyone else's thoughts. What do y'all boys think?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs have to draft definitely an offensive weapon with pick 9. I know in the mock draft, Caleb of course took defense, and I could see them doing that too, replacing their 2-time All-Pro corner. But man, this corner class is I think deeper than this. This corner class is pretty deep compared to some of the offensive weapons, especially early on. The gap between early on offensive weapons to a later corner with a lot of potential. But I say they draft maybe Sadiq at 9. Later on, get like a Brandon Cisse or like a Colton Hood, maybe matters what corners on the board. Maybe McCoy's there, and basically you have 2 top 10 picks right there. If you think about it like that, because McCoy's just that good of a corner. Of course, we don't have no film on him because he was injured. But if he would have won the NFL draft last year, he would have been a top 10 pick guaranteed. So, I mean, it's like basically having 2 top 10 picks if you do that.
Yeah, I think Kansas City should go out and make a trade for K9. Let us get Kansas City's pick. Y'all get K9, even though y'all got a chance to get Jeremiah Love. Let us get y'all's first round pick. Let us get Colton Hood from Tennessee, and let's call it even, bro. We'll call it done. Boom. Uh, I'm happy. I hope Caleb, you're happy, and I think we move on from there.
What do you think, Marcus?
You know what? To be honest, to be honest, whatever the Chiefs got going on right now, like we all know that they didn't have the best season. I just got told I don't know ball. It's all right because I know ball in certain areas. Okay, I've openly admitted that NFL is not my niche. That's why I have these three goats, four goats right here to take care of that. But nonetheless, like I said, the Chiefs didn't have the best this the best season this year. With Patrick Mahomes getting hurt, and then on top of that, just a lot of injuries, a lot of outstanding factors outside of the field. I think picking up somebody like Jeremiah Love. There was a statistic the other day. The Chiefs hadn't had a 1,000-yard running back in forever. So picking up a guy like Jeremiah Love to kind of take the load off Patrick Mahomes, I think that is going to be a really, really solid pick. It just kind of depends on where everything kind of falls into place. Um, but nonetheless, yes, Paco, I am a casual when it comes to NFL. I know, but yeah, I honestly think that's going to be a really interesting pick, especially with them freeing up their cap space, and seeing how much they're going to pay him. We have repeatedly said on this show that running backs are cheap. Running backs are cheap, especially a rookie. But somebody like Jeremiah Love, that is going to be an absolute steal, and I think with Big Red, Patrick Mahomes, a lot of these veterans in that locker room, they're going to really help develop them. I think Kareem Hunt is still there, correct?
If hopefully we can bring him back. He is
Mhm.
gonna be a free. He's a free agent right now. I think we can. He'll be really cheap. I don't think too many teams have a target on him, and I would say his best interest is coming back to Kansas City.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
pretty sure
Like
he'll be back.
with Kareem Hunt, if the Chiefs bring him back, that's going to be a really, really solid model for Jeremiah Love to advance in his game. And I think that's going to be a really good person for him to kind of sit back, but also back up at the same time, just in case he takes out a couple extra snaps. I think that's going to be a really, really solid pickup for the Chiefs. What else we got on the NFL quickfires, boys?
What do you got, Thomas?
Let's
Cool.
see the next slide. So
Oh,
this is for Lucas.
yes.
Fire away, Luke.
All right, here we go. Seattle Seahawks, baby. We need to get this thing figured out and get it figured out here soon. Pretty confident to say that K9 is not coming back based off of just more announcements coming up and more more information. Again, at this point, I'm kind of just whatever, just pick already. I think I was talking with the boys earlier that I think Rashid Shaheed's coming back. K9 is not coming back. Um, and you see right here, Tomas had put some players up, um, some potential running backs to come back to Seattle as RB1. Kenneth Gainwell. It is pretty good. Like I said, me and the guys are laughing. Well, I don't think they're laughing, but I was. I had him on my fantasy team, and I know he did pretty good. Put up some good numbers for me. Um, and I think he would be all right. He won't be all right. Tyler, uh, Allgeier. I'm probably gonna mess with these names too. Don't know much. Um, I think it's not too much. I would like to see Travis though come from the Jags. Uh, I don't know these guys too much, but I know him a little bit more. I think he'd be a pretty good fit. You got right here. Tomas put some stats up. Appreciate you. 7 touchdowns. Average 4.3 rushing yards. 1,107. Or no, sorry. Average was 4.3 yards per rush. Yards he had 1,107 and attempts 260. Not bad, of course. In Jacksonville, it's not. I mean, they had a great run this year, actually, a pretty good team. But I think moving to Seattle with the line that we've been building up, I think there's more potential for that. I think more rushing touchdowns. Of course, not knowing how Zach Charbonnet is going to be at the start of the season, um, kind of makes it a little urgent to get a running back pretty quick for us. But I think if I had to pick between these three, I think I'm definitely going to take Travis. That's my take. Boys, what do y'all think?
Travis Etienne is a weapon. He's very good in the rush game. Like this year was good in the running game, very good in the passing game. Yeah, so he's just what was that saying Coach G used to always say with us? A Swiss Army knife or something. I forgot it was something like that. Like you're just a weapon, man. Do any aspect of the game, and that's basically Travis Etienne. That's a guy like how Lucas said. Kansas City's in running back need position right now. Like Etienne would be good for us. My heart is super set on Jeremiah Love. I would love to get him in the draft. Etienne is up there. I think just especially with the tagging of Breece Hall and Williams getting re-signed to the Dallas Cowboys, the running back free agency room is already shrinking because you got K9 at the top. You know, easily I say Travis at 2. Um, Algier, yeah, I mean, you say Algier's at 3, and then then the rest of the guys are kind of just I would say average-ish running backs. You know, they're running back one capabilities, but they're not going to blow your mind off. I think Algier was playing pretty good while he was running back one in Atlanta, but then of course he started playing behind Bijan Robinson, so that's going to take snaps away from you. What do you think, Chacho?
Yeah, man. I think Seattle wants to pay a cheaper running back with its most potential with that offensive line they have. I think they go Tyler Allgeier here because man, he was showing off a couple flashes until, of course, Bijan Mustard got there. So, um, yeah, man, I just love Allgeier. I know his stats don't really prove nothing. Last season, of course, he had 143 attempts, 514 yards, averaged 3.6, and had 8 total touchdowns. But man, you give him a competent O line and quarterback that can sling it, so he's not just pressurized. I think he'll do just fine in that Seattle system.
What else we got today? What else we got on our rise or on our quick fire? Is that about it? I know that throughout our entire group chat. Yep, here's another one. Yep.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Well, let me get started here with the franchise tags. 4 players were franchise tagged this offseason. Well, franchise tagged and transition tagged. Let's start off with Breece Hall. Breece Hall got franchise tagged. He'll be making 14.29 million this year. Wow, man. I mean, this just kind of ruins the running back market. You're gonna have to start paying your running backs some pretty big money if they think they're better than Breece Hall. They're gonna be like, well, he's making 14 mil. I need more. Let me go to Daniel Jones here. He didn't get franchise tag, but he got transition tagged, just $6 million less than a franchise tag. Does that 6 million really matter for them? It could if they do. If another team does match their contract, and this year he's set to make $37.8 million as a quarterback, which that's a top 5, of course. Going down to George Pickens here. I mean, he of course had to get franchise tag. The Cowboys didn't want to see this guy go. Their wide receiver 2, arguably wide receiver 1, will be making 27.3 million this year on the franchise tag. Man, that's a lot of money for a wide receiver 2. And the surprising one here was Kyle Pitts getting franchise tagged. Yeah, I mean, uh, tight end tags are really expensive, especially for their position. It's 15 million. So hopefully they work out a deal here later in the future. And just man, 15 mil a year for Kyle Pitts, man, just wild.
Yeah,
yeah,
especially.
it. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say, especially for how long he's been around, but also just uh, you do you think he might take that veteran, pay? I guess is what y'all call it, like in terms of
Mm.
that deduction, or so that way they can try to free up some cap space to go find.
Uh, I don't think so. I think a lot of these guys have the pretty much all the guys that were listed here on this list. I didn't really hear much about Pickens, so I can exclude him. But there was a lot of reports of Daniel Jones and the Colts that they could just not find a mutual ground to agree on for a long-term contract. Same with Breece Hall. The Jets are obviously trying to poke the bear and trying to find a long-term deal with Breece Hall also. And then they just said that, hey, we're not risking it. We know that you're gonna I don't know if you would say I like K9 over Breece Hall, but I think other teams have the different idea that Breece Hall is a better running back than K9. But I know the Jets for sure knew that if Breece Hall hit free agency, he was gone. He was going to get a paycheck somewhere and just be out of New York. So they placed that franchise on him, and they're still trying to work out a long term deal. And then like going back to Indiana, we talked about and talking about who do you franchise tag, the wide receiver or the quarterback? And we did essentially we all said like, yeah, you got to keep the quarterback, and that's what Indiana did. They're trying to keep Daniel Jones, but Alec Pierce is now hitting free agency for sure. Teams are going to be offering him a bag, and Alec Pierce did come to the table and he said that he's not going to sign a deal with anybody unless they have their quarterback situation figured out. So I guess right now you can technically say that for Indianapolis that they do not have it figured out. They just have a tag on Daniel Jones, so that's putting them back in the same situation for next year in 2027. Daniel Jones is going to be hitting the market again. Alec Pierce does not like that. He wants to play for, like a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, a good quarterback who knows that they're going to still be that quarterback for years to go. Boys,
Tomas.
I already gave my take, man. So
Yeah.
we'll go Luke then.
All right. Yeah, I think. I mean, Daniel Jones was proving a lot, man. That dude from where he was at in New York to the jump he had in at the Colts, man. It was you know he jumped up 10 flights of stairs quick with that. But I think I agree with Alec Pierce. Like not wanting to go to a team that doesn't have a set quarterback. Not only does that make things more comfortable for, or it just makes things more comfortable for him and his career. You know what I mean? I would do the same if I was in those shoes. I wouldn't want to go to a team that's having to figure out a quarterback situation every season, or they got to figure it out now, but next season's going to come up uh, pretty quick too. So it's like, okay, then wait, then you have the same issue again. So I think he's smart for taking that free agency. Teams are going to pick him. Daniel Jones, when he comes back, I think he's gonna be healthy. He's gonna be healthy. He's gonna be great. I think he's gonna show that if he would have never got hurt, I think Colts have a much longer run into the playoffs. Other than bringing back Philip Rivers, can't say much because he literally almost beat Seattle. Um, but Daniel Jones, man, I think he has like a great potential for when he comes back healthy, and I think they'll be steady for this coming year. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's not just a one and done thing, and hopefully they can settle some type of agreement for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that, Indy doesn't do what the Vikings did, because, we've been talking about this for weeks, especially when the news came when Sam and Seattle won the Super Bowl, like we all knew that, they had JJ, they had Sam, and they had Daniel all in the same quarterback room, and they let both of them walk, and they kept JJ McCarthy. They put all their faith in him, and I just really hope that the Colts, they can throw whatever they can to keep Daniel Jones. I know he got injured. Yes, yes, there's always that risk that that might happen again. But nonetheless, when was the last time Colts had a good season before pre-injury with Daniel, like with any quarterback in the last what, five years?
Yeah,
It's been a while.
yeah,
If you have something that is promising, yes, like I keep saying, he got hurt, but it's promising. Do it. Why not? Put a franchise tag on him. Come to an agreement. Do what you can. This man is your only hope. You can't throw everything at Kyle Pitts, and then the chat already brought this up. It's Anthony Richardson is walking glass, and that is a huge risk that I don't know if that the Colts are fully ready to take. But nonetheless, there are some potential signings and cuts. Caleb, what's going on?
let's get it. So of course I'll start with my Chiefs, man. Um, oh shit, we got the Chargers up here. Tomas, you take it over real quick.
all right, I'll take over the Chargers pick now. The Chargers made a couple cuts today. They released Makai Becton, saving 9.7 million this year. He did underperform for sure last season, but I can't really put all the blame on him. I'm not gonna sit here and bash a guy that's already down. Um, man, Will Disley on the other hand, man, get out of here, dude. I don't. He was a blocking tight end. He didn't really do much for the Chargers, but hey, I mean, we released him. We saved some cap, and the Chargers now have 99 million in cap, and they are number one in the NFL. That's why I have Mike Evans right here. Um, I saw that CBS was talking about landing spots, and they're saying the Bills, the Chargers, might return with the Bucks. But I think if he was going to go back to the Bucks, he would have already been back on the. They didn't franchise tag him. They of course haven't paid him yet. So yeah, man, I think he's on the move, and the Chargers have the cap for it. So might as well do it.
Yeah, I think Mike Evans is kind of in the boat to where he knows he's at the end years of his career and he's ring chasing, you know. I'm not saying he's a bad player and he's just going to be warming up the bench. He's going to be on that field 100%. He's still a heck of a player. But for sure he's going to go to a quarterback team, you know, a team that's going to be up there for contention to be playing in the Super Bowl. Whether who that is, I mean, it changes up every year. Like we just said, you had Seattle that just came in and won a Super Bowl. It changes all the time. I think the Chargers are a good landing spot for Mike Evans, a team that can afford him. I know in, I want to say episode 4, I had Mike Evans saying that he might go to the Chiefs, but it would kind of have to be a friendly deal. I don't think Mike Evans would get the deal that he would want. And because the Chiefs are still working on their financial stuff. And with that, getting into the Chiefs, let's just say the Chiefs are free now. Finally, we had cut Jawan Taylor, the freaking headache of a tackle that we had playing with us. Man, he's gone. Just saved $20 million for us. Fixing to restructure Chris Jones. Just traded Trent McDuffie. Like we're getting ready to just hop right back in the Super Bowl. That's the way Brett Veach is playing it right now. He's just ready to get rolling. And Matt Spagnola's defense is more of like a plug and play defense. You don't need to get a guy and train him up, get into the system. So that's why I say, like, if you go out in the first round and you draft Mansour Delane, or if you draft a corner later on, like Tomas said, Brandon Sissy, or if Avion Terrell is there or something, you can still draft a guy like that. He'll still develop into a pretty good corner, and he can just be plug and play and play. And I think since Trent McDuffie's going to hit the market, you have to re-sign Jalen Watson, who's going to be hitting free agency this year, because he's our corner 2. How are you just going to let go of your corner 1 and then let your corner 2 walk? Then you're just stranded for sure. So you have to bring back Jalen Watson. And yeah, that's about what I got. Anyone else?
No, no. I mean, uh, I know that Vikings had released a couple players. I forgot the freaking name, but I know y'all sent it to us. A key defensive tackle, I believe it was. Um, that D line has been a struggle, for a while now. We have a really good defensive coordinator in Brian Flores, and if they're gonna go out in the free agency and try to go get some really good defensive pieces, also in the draft, like we talked about, especially that Brian Flores is back. We didn't resign him for no reason. We brought him back so we can have a really strong defense. Um, but speaking of defense and also really strong teams, Luke has busted his tail off and came up with an amazing freaking bracket that we're all going to discuss and go over. By the way, hook 'em horns to the day I die. Shout out my pops. Love you. Go away.
Awesome.
Take it away, Luke.
Awesome. Well, to crush Marcus's dreams, Texas did lose today to Arkansas 105-85. So I had to throw that out there. Got obliterated by them. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. March Madness, man. If you're not ready for this, then you are just not a sports fan. Um, it's gonna be intense. I said this last episode. You got your top dogs on here. You got Duke, Kansas, UConn, Gonzaga, UNC, Purdue. Kentucky's not a top dog, but they're on here still. Arizona. Um, some of these teams are just There, it's like said Florida, like I said, no brainer. This is a bracket setup for now. It was too early to do a bracket poll thing right now, but this is what we got right here. I can zoom in if I need to make it a little bit easier to see. No, no, spoiler alert. I guess I can't zoom in, but this is who I got. Uh, Texas is in there. You got Tech at number 3 in the East. Duke number 1, Michigan number 1, UConn number 1, Arizona number 1. I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. I think those 4 teams are gonna be the number 1 seed in each of these divisions. Your East, Midwest, South, and West. And so yeah, so that's the bracket I got for you guys as of right now. And now I'm gonna go into my brother's gonna help me. We're gonna go over some games that happened. I'll let him take over the games that happened February 28th.
Oh, he's having audio issues.
Oh, dang it.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. I'll cover it then. I got you guys. All right. So February 28th, we had Tech versus Iowa State. At the time being, Tech was ranked the 16th seed and Iowa State was ranked the 4th seed. And Tech came out with the win, 82 to 73. Your top scorer for Iowa State was Joshua Jefferson, 22 points. Your top scorer for Tech was Donovan Atwell, 18 points. So that was a at this time, Tech was on a winning streak, could not be stopped. Um, Another upset, you had Kentucky unranked beat Vanderbilt, 25th seed. Top scorer for Kentucky was Otega Owe, 23 points. Actually, we had a tie max points there. Uh, 23 points, and Colin uh, Chardler, 23 points as well. And for Vanderbilt, top scorer was Tyler Harris, only 19 points. And the last game, Gonzaga versus St. Mary's. Gonzaga actually ended up losing that one, 59 to 70. Nothing too big at stake for that game. But I think for that day, the biggest upset, BYU losing to West Virginia. BYU ranked the 19th seed, West Virginia unranked. Um, Score was 79 to 71. Uh, Top scorer for BYU, Robert Riddle, 23 points. And for West Virginia, Hunter Huff, 19 points. Another big upset. There are some crazy upsets within this week. Happened March 1st. Purdue versus Ohio State. Purdue was ranked the 15th seed at the time. Ohio was unranked. They ended up beating Purdue 82 to 74. Top scorer for Ohio State was John Mobley Jr., 21 points. Top scorer for Purdue was Brandon Smith, 20 points. Now we got some big games that just happened on the 3rd of March, starting with Alabama versus Georgia. Alabama was ranked 16th seed at the time. Georgia was unranked. Georgia came off with the win by 10 points, 98 to 88. Top scorer for Georgia, Cannon Catchings, 32 points. That reminds me of me back in 8th grade when I hit the top of the backboard. For Alabama, number 1 scorer was LeBron Fillin Jr. or LeBaron. Sorry, I might have said that wrong. 26 points. And as I mentioned, Tech for winning. I actually got Tech losing. At the time, 10th is the 10th ranked seed now, losing to unranked TCU 73 to 65. The Horned Frogs would come up with the win, with Xavier Edmonds scoring 20 points. And for Tech, top scorer Donovan Atwell, 19 points. And another pretty crazy upset. You had your Kansas City Jayhawks, 14th ranked seed, losing to the unranked Sun Devils by 10 points, 70 to 60. Sun Devils top scorer was Mo Odom, 23 points. And for the Hawks, Trey White, only 16 points. So I know a lot of upsets happening, a lot of rankings changing, teams moving up and down. So I got the biggest teams that moved up in ranking. Starting off with yet again a heating streak right now. Like I said, 6 spots from 16th seed to the 6th seed. I mean, to the 16th seed to the 10th seed. Sorry about that. Michigan State jumping up five seeds, 13 to the eighth seed. Nebraska jumped up three spots, 12th seed to the ninth seed. UConn went up to 6 to 4, and Florida from 7 to 5. Now, we always got to have positive and negatives. So for our negatives, teams that moved down, Purdue, this one hurt pretty bad. Moved down 7 spots in rankings from the 8th seed all the way down to the 15th seed. Gonzaga moving down 3 from the 19th to the 12th, and St. John's moving down 3 from 15 to 18. Teams that left the poll: Louisville losing to Clemson, dropped out. BYU with the massive upset ended up dropping out as well. Teams that joined the top 25: Miami Redhawks. Now, I'm sure y'all probably seen these guys on Instagram. 30-0 record, and they're only ranked the 19th seed. Now, I get it. Power rankings is a big thing in D1 schools, but to go 30-0, I think the only team that's 30-0 right now is women's UConn basketball. I think there's only 2 teams in the entire collegiate basketball D1 realm that are undefeated, and I think you got to at least give these guys a top 10 seed. Because I don't know, power rankings matter big time, but 13-0 or 30-0, that's crazy. It's crazy. And St. Mary's joined in at the 21st seed. I want to get y'all's boys' take on undefeated teams. Why is it that, again, even though this is a lower D1 school, do you think they should be at least a top 15 seed, or do you think it's fine them being a 19th seed? Marcus.
I
Translating from football, there's a big thing in college football, especially, and the committee calls it strength of schedule. Now, this committee, I don't agree with them, especially this whole thing they have with Notre Dame. But you can win 30 games and play about like 30 cupcakes. All right. You didn't play the best teams. Like, Luke, how many top 10 teams did they beat?
I do not have that for you on record right now, but again, based off of the lower division seed they're at, I'm gonna go ahead and say it is not as much as Tech or Florida, which I agree with you on. I 100% agree with you on.
Yeah, because that's the point that I'm trying to make. Is like, let's say, for example, we get a team like freaking JMU, perfect freaking example. They ended up at what, 24? They just squeezed in or something. They ended up like right up there in the group of five. They went undefeated. Why aren't they, ranked that high? But then again, like I said, in college football, they do basically the same thing, unless your school is Texas, where they just have to give it to Notre Dame. Nonetheless, I'll stop. Caleb.
it's easy, like what you said. I mean, this whole strength of schedule, there is the whole thing with the committee being straight up trash at times, and uh, this is the only thing I know. Diego Pavia is from New Mexico, but I was gonna say this is the only smart thing this dude has said is that he's like, "Oh, I'll give up so much of my NIL when a small team school comes in and beats like a bigger team school, because you know how the committee will usually always give that 12th ranked seed to every like how JMU was this year." And yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see the stats of this 30-0 team. Have they really came and played even a top 25 school, or are they just straight up running through these other schools? Because that's why they get in the March Madness tournament, and then they're just like easily first round exits. So if they play because they're gonna play a bigger school if they're ranked number 19, they're gonna play a really good school. But there's always upsets. Like what was that year when it was that man, I can't remember I don't want to give false information. It was a very small school, and I want to say they beat Duke, dude, in the first round. I just can't remember the freaking school name. Maybe this was like in 2021, 2022. I remember they had beaten like Duke in the first round. I'd have to search that up and get back to y'all, but I just can't remember the school name.
I think Christian and Luke are on that right now because I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I will tell you this: like before, went full swing with Longhorns, everything. Christian actually put me on to North Carolina, because and I was supporting North Carolina during that time. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, I think Christian came over that day, and they hit that game-winning shot to move on. I believe it's to the Final Four. You remember that, Christian? Oh yeah, I forgot his microphone's off now.
I
While
don't
we wait for the
remember.
boys to actually find that team, we got a couple chats to look at. So Paco said seventh grade basketball. If you know, you know, Caleb. What was that like? Because I never made the team.
Elu. All right. Mention
Seventh grade
MJG.
basketball, man. I mean, you're talking about a Hall of Fame team, bro. Try to name all the names. Try to name some names. I ain't gonna drop like full on last names and none, but had me, Joey, San Fran, um, Baco, Sammy, Samuel. I will never
Oh yes,
forget.
Sammy
I
Sanchez.
will never forget being in Carlsbad, man. And they put Sammy in the game, and they threw this dude the ball, and I'm telling you, like, he was nowhere kind of like close to the 3 point line. It was straight up like a Steph Curry three. As soon as the ball hit his hands, whoa, and just shot that motherfucker, dude. And that thing was like bricked off the backboard so hard. Trying to just be a shooter, man. That
Dude,
was an elite team.
that was like 2016 Chino Hills, but the Lovington edition.
Yeah, I know. Brian was up in there. Hola, hola. Uh, man, yeah, that team was a lot of memories, good times.
And
Paco was the man.
another one. Gentle Giant said rock for a brain. I think he's talking about me. It's all right. You know, I- it's all right. It's all right.
Hey, Kilo, was that team that
I
beat Duke
best
the
sports taste.
VCU
But speaking of
Rams?
best, Luke, what was that team that knocked Duke out of the first round?
I don't see any for Duke. But I did look up some of the biggest upsets in March Madness, and the most recent one was 2023. Was Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue. Purdue was the number one seed, lost to the 16th seed. Um, I haven't found much.
Well,
I think maybe my brother's.
there was the VCU Rams, the number 11th
Oh, can
seed
you
in 2007, who beat number 6 seed Blue Devils.
trying to find it? Oh, it was St. Peter's. That's a school.
Oh,
Saint
okay.
Saint Peter's. Yeah, and I want to say it was Duke. Who did they beat? We'll pull up see real quick. Who did St. Peter's beat in March Madness? Shit, I freaking ask you a simple question and it pulls me up their schedule from this year. Like, bro.
They are not doing nothing this year, Jay.
Yeah.
That's Siri for you.
Bro, what the hell?
I mean, I don't see a team that beat Duke. I looked
Trying
it
to
up.
find.
I
I know they beat.
said, has St. Peter's ever beat Duke? And it said they've never even played each other before.
Oh, there you go. I think it was Kentucky. That's probably what it was.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's a
Kentucky.
Duke
Ah,
team.
dude, don't scar me like that. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Kentucky's gotten out the first round like the past like 2 years, bro. It's been awful to
yeah,
watch. Yes, I remember
yeah.
it was
Saint.
it was that white boy, bro. That boy was shooting. That boy was on like fire, bro. That dude was green all game long, and everyone was wanting to ask him like, "Hey, are you gonna go to the NBA?" And he's like, "Nah, I just did this for fun, basically." Like, and just cooked up Kentucky, bro. And yeah, I remember that. Oh, it was awful to watch. The dude had like freaking it felt like 13 3-pointers on us, and we just I say we, I don't even know anybody on the team. But it was just awful, man. It was horrible to watch. I keep seeing a bunch of reels, man, on like Instagram where it's like POV March Madness is coming up, and you're gonna have all these lower team schools just out of nowhere gonna beat these ranked teams, and that one player is gonna shoot all 3-pointers and just wipe everybody out. And it's not wrong, dude. It's happened. I'm telling you, every single year that I've like watched it, there's always a school that's like I said, a lower D1 school team come in and just smoke the top team. Of course, Kentucky always ends up being one of the teams that they beat, of course. But yeah, it's crazy. I think that's what makes March Madness so awesome is that you do get these higher ranked teams, teams 1 through 5, and get smoked by the 16th seed in that division. And I think that's what's awesome because you have all these people putting money on the line for March Madness bracket, and next thing that one team beats that higher seed, and like there goes like 75% of the brackets all just gone. And I think
Yeah.
that's the funnest part to keep up with is like, oh, only 50 perfect brackets left, and I'm like, bro, when I had it, I was like, my bracket's perfect, and I'm not even on here. So, but yeah, it's crazy. It's fun. And I can't wait till we do that. I think maybe by next episode, the poll should be open to where we can do that. And that's going to be exciting because I will be more educated for that one than I was for the NFL mock draft.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I look forward to episode 7 when we definitely do, the whole mock draft. And then also by then, a lot of stuff in the sports world will obviously be advanced. But speaking of, talked about this earlier, one of the potentially best main events we've had in a while. Like this year, the whole like ever since UFC joined Paramount. I know my brother and his friends are probably watching this. They know me. I'm a certified casual. We're all pretty much certified casuals, but we can most definitely give our takes on it. It's not illegal, but nonetheless, Charles Oliveira, uh, Max
Two
Holloway,
Bronx.
Charles the Bronx, Charles the Bronx, an absolute stellar of a card and an absolute stellar of a main event. You got Max Holloway, the stand and this is a UFC term, stand and bang king. You know what I'm saying? That's actually a mode in UFC as well. But nonetheless, like this dude, we all saw what he did to Justin Gaethje. Sorry, Devin. But also his last fight, he is coming off a loss against the lightweight champ Ilya Taporia. If you would actually go back and watch that fight, you could argue that Max was definitely winning that fight. He was keeping his distance, using his range, using his leg kicks, everything like that. It was just when Max started doing his little started engaging with Ilya. We all know if you're a fight fan, never engage with Ilya because you're gonna get caught with that right and or left, and it's gonna feel like God smacked the living dog water out of you, and you're never gonna see the light of day. And that's exactly what happened to Charles when they fought. The great thing about Charles too is that the fact that one, a lot of people like to doubt, his striking, but then again, what happens is how Charles gets people to the ground. It all starts on with his striking, and he has an amazing ground game. He started off with jiu-jitsu first, and now he's fully transitioned to MMA. Nonetheless, it's just if you're a fight fan, it's just going to be really, really hard to watch, especially because both of these guys are very respectable. You can be a huge fan of both of them. Um, and I love Charles. I think he's a great fighter. I love watching him fight. And Max, same thing. I became a huge Max fan after I watched Gaethje and him go to the distance and him knock out Gaethje in the very last second. Shout out Mason, by the way. Shout out Mason. But yeah, Caleb, what are your thoughts? How do you think this fight will go?
I hope it's not an Ilya Taporia 2.0 fucking fight for two Bronx. These guys are actually both coming off of knockout losses against Taporia. Both these guys got their bell rung by that guy. But we look at the measurements. Dude Bronx is longer reach. It's like I think I want to say Max has got a 69-inch reach or something like that, and then Dude Bronx is 74. Max is going to come out boxing with that significant strikes per minute. Um, he's just going to come out throwing. But Charles Oliveira's got a way better accuracy than when it comes to actually like landing those solid punches. So I mean, obviously, I don't think Duke Bronx is going to come out and trying to stand with Max Holloway. I think his best bet is trying to keep that distance, use his reach to his advantage. Obviously, he's got the longer arms. Can't let Max Holloway close in. Try to keep him at bay. Possibly try to get Max, and he's going to come out swinging. Try to get him to swing and miss, take him to the ground, and that's like you said. Duke Bronx is really good on the ground. Tap that dude out. I'm a fan of I'm a fan of Charles Oliveira by heart, even though he is the underdog this fight. But I ain't ever down in my Duke Bronx boy. I'm going with Duke Bronx this fight. Tomas.
Yeah, man, bro. I need this win from DuBronx for my mental sanity, guys. Uh, I just I need a DuBronx win in my life. Almost as bad as a Johnny Walker win as well. But man, DuBronx just needs to get to the ground. Don't try to stand in vain with Max. Who cares if he's pointing at the ground? Come right here in the middle. Let's start hitting each other. Maybe you do it for a little bit, but I feel like once he feels them big swings, he's definitely gonna try to grapple them and try to of course submit them or just tire him out to the very last round. And I just need to see DuBronx get the bout and just start rubbing it. Even if it's a BMF bout, it's not a championship bout. I need that in my life.
Yeah, and Charles hasn't won a fight in a little bit, man, and I love him. I love watching him. I think, like I said, he's a standout guy. From what everybody says, um, and yeah, it's just like I said earlier, it just sucks that it has to be these two because both of them are somewhat on the tail end of their career. You know, but we did see there was some sparring footage that did come out with Charles. He was practicing, pointing like Max pointing in the middle of the cage, and but Charles was getting caught like a lot, and we all know when Max gets in that dang flow state, man, that accuracy, man, that's sniper right there, bro. Like that's some accuracy, and we all know it. All it takes is that one, and Charles can end up, and Charles does have a glass chin, from what I've heard from the boys and what I've seen. Charles does have a glass chin, and if he gets caught, same thing, he's going to sleep. But nonetheless, forward. I look freaking forward to Saturday. I am so excited. I wish we could stream it, but with copyright and all that stuff, obviously we can't. But we'll definitely have a recap of the fight next week. Nonetheless, speaking of recap, boys, UEFA Champions League. Take it away.
Yes, Champions League. I would say probably, in my opinion, based off of what I watched, top five tournament. We are in the round 16. Let me share my screen with you boys so y'all can see who's in it. I'm positive y'all may not know anybody here, but as you can see here, you got PSG. Let me get my notes real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, you got PSG versus Chelsea. We'll come back to that one. You got Liverpool. Uh, Liverpool's a pretty good team. Shout out Matthew, that's his favorite team. You got Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Then you got Atlantis versus Bayern Munich. Shout out my other brother, that's his team. Newcastle versus FC Barcelona. I'm pretty sure I know them. Atletico versus Spurs. These other two teams, I don't. For some reason, my notes glitched out. I have their names. They look so bad. And then Arsenal last. So going back, like I said, I told you I would go back to the Chelsea versus PSG game. So for me, Chelsea is my team. That is my team that I root for. It like I said, soccer is the most worldwide known sport, best sport in the world. And PSG, like I said, PSG versus Chelsea. I got some rematch highlights for these guys the last time they met up. And the last time that they met up, it was for the Club World Cup Championship. So what that is certain clubs get invited to come play in the United States, and they just battle out, and the winner is called obviously World Club Cup champions. So these guys last played on July 13th of 2025. Chelsea ended up dominating that match 3-0, as we say as soccer fans, which basically means zero. Everyone thought PSG was gonna have that game, and Chelsea just made these guys look like a high school JV team. And they dominated. PSG not scoring a single goal on these guys was a shocker for many fans. I would say most of the population had PSG winning. Of course, I did not. Because PSG just before they played Chelsea, they just put it to Real Madrid. And PSG is coming in on this hot seat. Like I said, they beat Real Madrid. They're coming in, and everyone's thinking, Chelsea's got no chance. But in that match, we ended up getting one red card. Things got chippy. It got to the point where there is nothing else we're gonna do but just foul you guys, and sure enough, that led up to a red card. Possession wise, um, in soccer, it is known that whoever has most possession will more than likely win the game. Not in this case, folks. Not even close. You had PSG had about a 50% more possessions. It was 62% to 38% possession. Like I said, a total, not even close. Shots on target and shots in general were pretty close. There was not much shooting during this game. Both defenses were pretty lights out. Chelsea had 2 goals. Cole Palmer, amazing player. PSG had 8 shots on goal. Chelsea had, no, 8 shots. Not Chelsea had 9 shots. PSG had 5 shots on goal, and so did Chelsea. But Chelsea was just able to put them in the back of the net. Our next key match, Real Madrid versus Man City. The last time these guys played was December 10th, 2025. Man City coming away with the win, 2-1. We had a lot of cards that game. Both teams each had 3 yellow cards. For those of you who do not know, you have to have 2 yellow cards to get a red card. If you get a red card, you have to miss a game. If you get a yellow card in one game, that yellow card transitions into the next game. Possession was pretty close, 46% to 54%. Man City had the ball more. Here's where we have a pretty big difference. Shots towards the goal. Real Madrid took 17 shots and only ended up with 1 in the back of the net. And shots on target, they only had 2. Man City had 7. And of course, the more accurate you are, the higher chance of scoring. And the next matchup I have for you guys is Newcastle versus Barcelona. Last time they played was September 18th. Barcelona coming off with the win, 2-1 as well. This one was even worse with cards for Barcelona, which had 4 yellow cards. Newcastle coming away with 2 yellow cards. Possession, again, a complete flip. 61% possession for Barcelona and only a 39% for Newcastle. Shots at goal, Barcelona had 18 and Newcastle only had 8. Shots on target, Barcelona had 4 and Newcastle only had 6. So I think it's going to be an exciting round. The games do not start till the 10th, I believe, of this month. So next week, finally able to watch some good soccer. If there's one tournament I watch other than the World Cup and the Champions League, it is this one. I'm sure my family at home will be watching it. I'm sure many other people around the world are going to be watching this one. Again, I'm most excited for Chelsea versus PSG. I think Chelsea is going to come away with the win again, and I'm excited for that. But that's what I have for that. Next up for soccer, pretty intense stuff. We actually are only 99 days away from the World Cup, everybody. The opener game is going to be in Mexico City. Your host, Mexico, will be playing against an African team. I don't remember the exact name, but 99 days away, less than 100. I'm excited. I'm sure everyone else around the world is excited. And go watch a game this year, boys. Let's go watch a game, even if you have to go and have a watch party. Tomas is saying no. He said he's gonna go inside the game and watch it actually. So he said he's gonna be on the big screen. So it's gonna be exciting, boys. If y'all don't watch soccer, man, I encourage y'all to just go get the experience of being around some fans. I know it can get pretty crazy, but I want to get Josh's takes on World Cup. I know last time we talked about it, y'all gave us y'all's rankings. I just want y'all to think, I want y'all to describe what y'all think the environment's gonna be like. I know some of y'all have been to college football games, NFL games. What do y'all think the difference between NFL fans, college fans versus soccer fans in general?
So, quick comment. This originally Christian was supposed to kind of feed off of Luke, but right now since we're streaming, he's kind of having some technical issues. Christian, do you still want to give your take, even though they won't be able to see you?
Can you hear me now?
It's not even working. He can't even unmute himself. Dang it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, so you can't hear me. All right. No, I mean, these are just some pretty exciting games. So just to see what these outcomes are, and we have a couple of rematches. PSG and Chelsea are always some pretty good matches, and so we'll see who ends up coming up on victory on that one. Man City and Real Madrid, those two always play each other around roughly around the 16th. So we'll see what the outcome from there is. So I mean, you kind of usually have the same teams that end up winning. So I mean, we'll kind of see what happens.
As far as my take, like what the question that Lucas asked, he's like, when it comes, I know that when it comes to the World Cup, it is gigantic because football right now, as a whole, they're trying their best to, veer off in the world. College football, not going to happen because of the fan bases, because of the rivalries, because of the stadiums, because of the different environments. Um, so in terms of like, if you were to compare the two, I would say most definitely, soccer is going to be most definitely the bigger thing. It's going to be a lot more popular. It's going to be a lot more mainstream, especially right now. They're in the best time to do it. But me personally, if you had to give me tickets between, let's say like a Longhorns game or a Vikings game or tickets to go see the World Cup, you already know me. But then again, it's just more so personal preference. But I do love the amount of dedication the fan bases. Marcelo, when he was talking to us about it in episode 2, like you have all these different chants, you have all like the banging of the drums, you have the big rivalries. Like there's one like we hate Tottenham, we hate Tottenham, or something like that. I don't know how it goes. I don't know how it goes, but like the rivalry between like Man City and Man United, that type of thing. So I could definitely see how big this is going to be. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Like I don't know if you've seen Harry Potter, but like when they have like the Quidditch Cup, whatever, and they have that gigantic crowd in that big old stadium. That's what that kind of reminds me of. Kilo.
Yeah, I think those soccer games get crazy. I always see videos of freaking dude. There's a video somewhere in a stadium where all these fans are at a soccer game and they're like jumping, and you can see the freaking it looks like it's about to collapse. The freaking like stadium flooring where they're all jumping, and um they're like burning stuff in the crowd, like in the crowd. They're just getting all crazy, bro. I'm like, wow, like if you brought that type of energy, dude, like that'd be something I'd want to copy from soccer. Like imagine taking that energy and bringing it to like the NFL. Because I know like they get all crazy, maybe sometimes too crazy. Because I hear some stories about like people in England stabbing each other over freaking soccer games and crap. Okay, we want to leave that part out, but other than that, I mean, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I say, of course, yeah, like what Caleb said, leave the violence up. But man, these fans are dedicated to, of course, their countries and their teams. Dude, I love it when fans are like that. Just absolutely love their team. Will really die for their team. They would generally, some people would generally, do that for their soccer teams. But uh, yeah, man, I mean, if they had that kind of passion in football with that many fans, man, it'd be amazing.
Here's a
Yeah,
question for
like
you. Sorry, since I had just quick thought. What artists do you think they would collab with to create some of the FIFA songs? Since it's here in the Americas, so you have Canada, the States, and Mexico. What artists do you think they would want to collab with?
An artist for United States, man. Trying to think of something that's like really like what's really in the now. Because I can give my preference, but he's technically not in the now right now. Like, who's this shit right now?
he's not necessarily American, but like he's been. I wouldn't. You can't put him because he just performed at the Super Bowl. But it's like I'm trying to think of like an American artist who would like. Paco said King Von,
King
but
Von.
but I don't even know. Like knowing them, they probably do like some pop artist that has like one good song, or maybe like a country artist who's already had a billion hits by now. But I couldn't really. I don't know.
Time out. Hold on. I have to bring a reaction to Marcus saying a country artist for soccer, bro. They barely even use country for football, and you're gonna say for soccer? You got Shakira over here. making soccer songs and Pitbull, and you're gonna say who? Chris Stapleton is gonna come up with the song?
Stapleton's gonna come up with
Like,
a
bro, yeah, Paco Morgan Wallen. Like, what's he gonna do? Kane Brown. But next thing you know, Post Malone's gonna come up. Post Malone could. Post Malone could. The only artist I'd give it to. But country, man, I can't even say country and soccer in one sentence other than just now. But
You know what?
I had to bring that up because everyone's reaction was just priceless. I wish we could have gone that because yeah, I mean that was
You know
that was
what?
probably
You
the
know what?
worst take
This
ever.
is
That's a clip right there.
you know what?
Country
You know what? Give me speed.
speed.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, he
no,
did
bro.
he did
do
make a song, and that song was low key fire, bro. I don't care what anyone else. That song was awesome.
Hey, hey, that my take previously was bad, but hey, Speed already made a World Cup song. It went viral. They, programs did use it. Why not? Speed is on top of the world right now since Kai Cenat's not doing anything. Why not? What's the risk? Everybody in the world kind of knows Speed by now. So, yeah, speaking of everybody around the world, with our final segment of the show, Formula One, Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne, Australia. Saturday, 10 p.m. my time. I think it's 9 p.m. Their time. Very, very exciting. There's a lot of questions going on. We're super excited to see how these cars are. Right now, it's just a lot of questions. We know that Cadillac pretty much rushed their car because they got the notice late that saying that they were going to be accepted into Formula One. You have Aston Martin who brought in Adrian Newey, but somehow managed to produce an absolute tractor. I mean, every car is a tractor, but that is like an original Lamborghini tractor from like way back when. Um, that's like a push mower right there. That's what Aston Martin produced. But nonetheless, there's a lot of questions. People are already giving the world championship or the world champion predictions. So before the season starts, and before we hand it off to Caleb and Tomas to give their total reactions, what do y'all think? First of all, who is your constructors champion and who is your drivers champion?
Oh wow! You did like my predictions for the season?
I'm gonna give it to Luke first, and then I'm gonna give it to you. But Caleb, if you already have an idea, talk to me.
Oh man! So I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna hop on the bandwagon fan, and I'm going Team Ferrari. I'm gonna be a Ferrari guy.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going Ferrari guys. I'm going Charles Leclerc and stuff, and it's like going bandwagon, but I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's bandwagon for how we've been the last few years, to be honest. Like Christian and Lucas will tell you, we
It's
haven't
like
been long in a
it's
long.
like following Tom Brady though. It's like a freaking bandwagon. Like you're going from it's exactly the Tom Brady situation. Like I remember our good friend Angel, he's a Patriots fan. And then when Tom Brady left the freaking Patriots and went to Tampa, then he was like a little Tampa fan. And especially he hurt my feelings because that's when the Chiefs played Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl and Tampa Bay won. And I was like, nah, screw that, dude. But yeah, that's why I feel like it's bandwagoning. I'm following one of the greatest in this sport. So kind of like Tom Brady 2.0 hopping on the Ferrari train.
I love how he did bring up Tom Brady because the literal goat of Formula One. You can argue with the freaking diaper. It's Lewis Hamilton. Tomas.
Yeah, man. I have to go with Mercedes, man. I absolutely love Kimmy and I love George Russell, man. I watched the Formula One show, as you guys know, Drive to Survive, and dude, those two personalities were great, bro. I actually love Kimmy as a person. I think wherever he goes, bro, I'm just gonna be a supporter of, bro. I'm a supporter of a driver.
Could we see Tomas in a Mercedes kit this season? Could we? Hey, put it on the company card. Luke.
Yeah, man. You know me, I'm sticking to my max. Ever since I really got into F1 last year, I was like, I went for who was winning at the time. I'm not even gonna lie. That's how I went. You asked me about anything for Seattle. I went with them because I like their green. Like end of story. F1. I at the time Max is what a 3-time world champ already. So I'm like, okay, well shoot, might as well go for him. I knew Lewis Hamilton was good, but I was like, everybody goes for him. I'm not gonna be that guy. So I got Max winning it. I think he's getting his get back after not being able to pull his what would have been probably one of the greatest comebacks in sports history to Lando Norris. I got Max taking it. Constructors Cup. Um, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that Red Bull is bringing it back. Um, no, I think Isaac Hadjar is a great, phenomenal driver. I think having a teammate like Max by his side to just really like push him, I think is gonna make him awesome. I don't think he's the best driver out of that class. I do agree with Tomas Kimi is probably the best rookie driver right now. I will give him that. Like Tomas said, the kid's great. Again, like the kid barely got his driver's license last year, and he's driving cars that go up to 200 miles an hour. Um, Pulling G's like crazy, and I'm barely going 25 miles down the school campus because it's all slow. But I stick to my Red Bull, man. I love my Red Bull. I got my shirts. I got my big old Lego set, and I'm not trading it. Uh, but that's my take. I got Red Bull winning both again.
Before I hand it off to Christian, all right. Before I hand it off to Christian, I know I'm yapping a lot. But we all know, as freaking Formula One fans, that second Red Bull seat is the freaking devil. That is bad. That is freaking lava. No matter who you freaking put next to Max, it will never work. They've been trying for years. They've been trying for years. Generations of cars have passed and they still can't figure it out. It's been Max pulling all the freaking weight of his team, his car, his teammate. It's not working. And by the way, correction, two-time because everybody knows, including the reigning world champion, that it is two-time because Lewis should have had it. But nonetheless, I don't see them winning the constructors with how strong McLaren is. Especially, like Zach said it the best. They have two world championship drivers. One of them literally just became world champ, and then two Mercedes. Yes, Kimmy might be that thorn in their spine, but nonetheless, Mercedes has a strong car. They've been proving it all along. Christian,
So the team that I'm going with, I'm gonna go with McLaren. They are going to run it back. That's just the best duo. That is the best duo going on right now. I mean, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, it's a good duo. As of right now, I don't see them. I have to see more from them in order to see how they would compete with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. But as of right now, I'm gonna stick with McLaren. With them running it back, again, they're just a good duo. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, they were battling it out the whole season. And then towards the end of the this past season, that's when Lando Norris finally ended up winning it all. Um, Now, which driver? Oh man, I wanna say one of the Ferrari drivers, but man, it's tough. It's tough. But right now, if I were to pick, I would probably go Oscar Piastri though. That's my hot take. He had a good year last year. He lost it towards the end, and I think this year he'd kind of want to get some revenge out of it. So I'd go with McLaren winning as a team, and then I'm gonna stick with McLaren again for the driver and go with Oscar Piastri.
also, I don't. I think McLaren kind of went away with the whole papaya rules. Now because during the offseason and over this past season, they realized like, wow, these two literally will run each other off the track, which if you watch Drive to Survive, or even if you watched any races last year, you definitely saw that, they just had, when you're young, when you want to win, when you get that feeling of winning, especially in this sport, you know, it is very cutthroat and you will do anything you can. Max is a perfect example. He will literally run you off in the world championship race, the one that will decide it all, like he did Lewis back in 2021. But nonetheless, I don't want to keep bringing that up because it aggravates me. But besides that, here are my picks. Mercedes, they had a very strong season last year. McLaren did too. But we all know when it comes to new regulations, it doesn't usually go well. Like we saw what happened, like we saw what happens when, the whole new regulations come in for a new generation of car. It typically doesn't go well. And even though you win the constructors, you have the most money, you have the most time to to go ahead and start working and developing your car. It doesn't always pan out that way. And we saw, testing is just testing, but Ferrari looks really strong. And I think, especially with the everything that they've done to work around the regulations. Now Lucas is gonna argue with me on this, but we will see after Saturday how it fares. But I see I'm going out on a limb. Call me a casual, but I've been believing in this man for a long time. All right. I say Lewis finally gets his lick back, and I see Ferrari finally stepping back up in the ranks because history repeats itself. History repeats itself because if you're a true F1 fan, if you're a true F1 fan, we all know the second in line goat behind Lewis. Ah, oh, dang it! Why did his name leave my mind? Um, Mac. Dang it. Luke, help me out here. Help me out. Oh, dude. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm gonna let you get this one for saying Max didn't win.
Dang it. I know it. I freaking know it. Oh my gosh. Um. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get called a casual because it's literally just left the freaking brain. Uh But when he joined Ferrari for his first 7 years, not Lewis, the other goat, he didn't win anything. But then eventually he did turn the team around, and plus Ferrari's strategy is notoriously trash. So, nonetheless, I'm going to say Ferrari takes it all, and Lewis gets his get back and proves everybody that he is the goat. He doesn't have to prove it, but he is. Without further ado, Tomas. Oh, what's up, Luke?
I gotta react to one of the comments because it's Paco. He said McLaren's too worried about their golf equipment right now. I don't know if y'all saw the ad, but McLaren just released that they're gonna start doing a golfing brand. I don't know for what. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna put a rocket on the back of their golf clubs or on a golf bar or something, trying to make it faster. But I think that was just a funny take um, regarding how Zach is as a manager because that dude just is like I don't know, he's weird, bro. So I personally thought it was funny. No one else is laughing, but I thought it was kind of funny.
Hey, them drivers better have some speed in them, like last year's car. And it was Michael Schumacher. I'm sorry, it freaking left my freaking mind. But also, um, as we know, before we transition to our very last topic, with everything that's going on in the world with like the war and stuff like that, how do you guys think it'll affect? How do you guys think it'll affect what's going on in the upcoming races? Because there are some upcoming races that are in Saudi Arabia. There are some upcoming races that are in, towards the Middle East. How do you think that those will affect what's going on in Formula One? Because there are teams that are worried, and also there are a lot of fans that are worried as well.
I'd have to see the Formula One map to see exactly where they're going. Like, are they gonna be in the like Middle East region like that?
Yeah, they have Bahrain coming up pretty soon. Let me pull up the schedule.
Well, yeah, I actually have notes for it. So the Bahrain Grand Prix and the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix are actually
Ooh,
back
so
to back.
Saudi
So
Arabia won't work. I
not
don't think.
only not only are you risking one race and then give it, and this is in April. The Bahrain Grand Prix is April 10th through 12th. You have your 3 days. So like, I mean, April's coming up pretty quick, and based off of the news, we've all found out that this isn't gonna be another weekend. It's over. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
And
you're gonna have to just move it around. Replace those races and put them in the U.S. a little bit more.
see, that's hard because they have Coda, and then they just added Vegas. They've already tried Chicago. They tried to get in Chicago as another street circuit, but trying to get races in America is really freaking hard, especially like with logistics. Plus the fact that Formula One has all these relationships, these really long-standing relationships with these tracks. it's going to be really hard for them to try to work around and or skip it because one, if you just skip a race as a whole, that affects everything. That affects everything in terms of points, in terms of championship, in terms of like championship standings. It's and there's two races like Luke said back to back that are both in that kind of region. Christian,
Sorry, I'm a little slow. I'm a little slow. Um, it's gonna be tough, man. I don't know what in the world they're going to do. How long are we looking at? The situation over there in the Middle East. I can't even give you a timeline, really. Just kind of seeing what's going on. And when you bring in all these sporting events like F1 and those regions that they're actually happening, I personally wouldn't have them. But then again, it's a lot more complicated than we think on the outside, saying, okay, why can't we just move it here? Why can't we just move it there? What's so hard about it? I mean, there's all sorts of behind the scenes stuff that we don't even know about. Um, my take would be for right now um, to hold off on those, specifically those two races that are happening like around the Saudi Arabia um, location, and we'll kind of see how it goes from there.
Tomas.
Yeah. Man, I know some racers, perform better on different tracks, and I don't know what racers do, but I did see that when watching Drive to Survive. But man, it's tough. If you do cancel those two races, I mean, there's a lot of points up there potentially for who does perform well over there. But I think it's not worth the risk. I think, maybe if you can't reschedule them, then I know it's kind of hard to do, but reschedule them somewhere else maybe. Um, I don't know if that's possible or not, of course, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah, it would be. It's because, like I said, like these schedules are what made years in advance, boys. Like we have schedules all the way to like 2029, and they already have tracks added for later on. Even farther than that for later on. Like I know they want to bring back the India Grand Prix or Indian Grand Prix. Later on they want to add a bunch of. They want to go back to have a Grand Prix in Africa. They're just trying to figure out the whole season and everything. So trying to reschedule them are really hard. Um, but nonetheless, like let's start worrying about the race that we have this Sunday. Luke, give me your 1, 2, 3.
All right, 1, 2, 3. I got Max, Lando, and Leclerc coming out on 1, 2, 3. I think it's gonna be a mix. Um, I know y'all probably thinking why isn't Piastri gonna be up there? It's his home race, especially after what happened to him last year. Again, I just stand strong with the whole Max revenge story, man. I think that dude is gonna. We're gonna get another 2024 season where it's Max, 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 Max. And again, of course, for those who don't like him, it's gonna be a boring season. But for someone like me, seeing that every week or every other week, it's money to my ears when I hear the Max Verstappen wins. But um, but I'm just excited to hear the infamous and famous lines of "lights out and away we go." I'm ready. I can't. Me and Christian are like, man, I can't believe it's already this week. Um, it felt like yesterday it just ended. I literally remember watching the last race and you know being all down because Max, Lando came up and passed everybody. Lando passed Carlos Sainz, passed Leclerc, passed. I'm like, bro, these guys didn't even try to stop him. Run him off the track or anything. But those are my top. Those are my top three. I hope we don't get as many crash incidents as we did last year. I think we had like 6 or 7 cars go out, you know? Um and like it wasn't like and like the crazy part. I remember y'all saw that in the Drive to Survive series, is all those cars, going out and it's crazy, I mean, like I love F1. I love the you never know what's gonna happen. It's one of the least rigged sports, I would say, of course, unless you bring in the whole money situation. But I got those are my top three. Like I said, Max, is gonna take pole position and qualifying and everything. I think that's top three. I would give you my top five. I think you got Max. Top the other two. I would go. I'm gonna go Russell. I think Russell's a dog, and I think Piastri would get it. Those are my other two drivers. But
Charles
that's
Leclerc's
my
gonna
pick.
win it.
Hey, I'm fully with Caleb on this one,
Hey,
but
I'm
then
just
again,
playing. I really don't know. I'm just throwing it out
no,
there.
before we hand it off to Tomas, I'm gonna say, I mean, I know I would love to see Oscar win his home race. It's always beautiful to see a driver win their home race. Like remember when Leclerc won Monaco, bro? That was freaking amazing to watch. As he came around the last corner and he crossed the finish line. That was so beautiful to watch. But we saw he finished P9 last year, and I see him kind of breaching the top five. It might be him and Lando fighting for P1, P2, but then something happens with strategy where one of them might end up towards the back. But I'm gonna say Lando takes back Melbourne for the second year in a row. I'm gonna say George at P2, and I'm gonna go Charles Leclerc P3. I'm gonna say, yeah, yeah. You can hate me all you want. You can hate me all you want. It's all right. I don't care. We can differ from opinion after next week when we come back at this. I'm gonna say, mm, I might say Max at 4 or 5, depending on the car, because we know that car struggled all year last year, especially in the beginning. Um, and I'm gonna say Lewis P4. It might be a little biased there, but it's okay. Moss.
Man, Lewis is gonna finish in like seven and below, bro. I'm sorry to tell you. But all right. So number one, that's gonna be Lando Norris, man. Let's be real here. He, of course, champion. I think he starts off with a hot start, of course. And after that, yeah, give me George, man. I just love the dude, bro. I think he's very competitive. I think he will get P2. And then give me Max at 3. I think that's probably like kind of an obvious pick for y'all, but yeah, man, Max at 3. Then I know it's like sound crazy, man, but give me Kimmy at 4, man. I love the guy. I know one of the races earlier on he got fourth place, and then he kind of had a fell off mid season, then kind of picked it back up towards the end. But man, I think he does the same thing, man. Like he has a kind of a hot start in the beginning.
Lastly, Christian.
All right, I'm gonna give P1. I'm gonna give it a Oscar Piastri. I'm gonna be nice to him. Um, Home race, just to get the whole season kicked off. I'm gonna give it to Piastri. P2, I'm going to give it to Max Verstappen. I know there's been a lot of issues and everything, but I think he's gonna want to have a great start. I'm gonna give P2 to Max Verstappen. P3, I'm gonna go Lando Norris. I think both McLarens are going to get podiums. After that, though, I do have both Ferraris in P4 and P5. But specifically, I have Lewis in 4 and Charles Leclerc in 5. So that is my top 5 for this upcoming race.
Speaking of, we did give Tomas's reaction. Christian, can you go full tile real quick? Um, Speaking of, last week we did give Tomas and Caleb a little bit of homework. You know, a little bit of homework, not the hardest thing in the world. They actually did amazing on it, and nonetheless, the homework was, having them watch Drive to Survive, because one of the beautiful things about this show is that we all kind of feed off of each other in terms of learning from each other about different sports. And their homework this week was actually watching Drive to Survive, see what they think about it, see what they think about the sport, and also seeing how cutthroat it is. Like with for example, like Red Bull just completely letting go of Christian Horner, their longtime race boss, the dude that did so much for them. I know Lucas was probably crying. I was glad because I did not like the guy. We will miss his charisma, but yeah. Starting off with Tomas, I know you watched basically the whole thing. What was your overall thoughts of like the sport, the drama, the cutthroat, that comes with the sport and the teams and everything? Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Well, I was going into it. I of course wasn't expecting anything crazy, but when I was sitting there and watching it, I did, find myself, laughing at some moments. Thinking like, dang, this really happened. I know I talked to Marcus earlier, and I was like, I can't believe Lando knocked his team, and of course, and he was saying, I was just kind of more dramatic for the TV. It wasn't really like intentional, and of course, I seen the Red Bull coach getting released, and then Mercedes coach is like the nice guy, right? I think man,
Yeah.
he's like so the sort of nicer dude, Um, and then seeing of course Hamilton, trying to keeping the bracket, going up and climbing the ranks, but at the end it kind of didn't really matter. But yeah, man, I did kind of really enjoy the show. I don't know if I could really catch any live races because of the time zones and stuff like that, but I'll definitely check out the next season for sure.
And I also thought like Luke when in episode one when they were doing the car reveals, I thought it was so hilarious how they kept in like Lando and Oscar's reaction to Ferrari, like and what they said about the blue. Did you catch that
No, I did. I don't. I mean, I watched episode one like
last week?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
honestly don't remember it, but I do remember the part where they started booing Christian, and I was like, dang, this dude's like a freaking villain in this game. And I didn't realize like that's what I enjoy about the show is you don't get that back. That hey, I didn't know that many people didn't like him. You know what I mean? But well, I'll wait for my reaction.
Caleb.
So my first thoughts when I was getting into this, I'm not just so for the viewers, and I mean you guys know I didn't get as deep at all as Tomas. I'm one episode in, but this is my pre thoughts, and I'll give you my after thoughts. My pre thoughts, I'm like, what is the hype to F1? What is the hype to watching fast cars drive in circles? Like that was my initial thought. And then I got into the show and I watched the first episode and then yeah, it started to catch my eye and I was like, okay, started learning little bit by little. Don't know everybody's name too much yet. I'm barely one episode in. I started doing more research. And then of course right away I was like, man, I gotta find like to really get into this. I gotta find somebody to root for. I gotta get part of a team. So then I just like jumped. I was like, kind of like just fuck it, man. I gotta go Ferrari. Hamilton is debatable. Like you just see his awards and everything. I'm like, this is like straight up like bandwagoning to me. Hopping on what's been working. But who knows? Maybe that can change, and I'll switch up. And if I find a team that like, hey, I actually like these guys, and I'll just switch up. But as of right now, I am a Ferrari guy. Gonna see how that goes. But I'm gonna definitely keep watching. Sorry, and I like it. I like it so far. It's been an interesting show. But yeah, I'm excited to learn more F1 and everything with you guys and be actually being able to talk about it.
Forza Ferrari. Forza
Man,
Ferrari.
I'm telling you, Kilo's gonna get more into the episodes, fall in love with Kimmy too, bro. I'm telling you. And then we're gonna both be
We're gonna
Mercedes
have
fans.
our own team.
Yeah, we're gonna like feed off each other and be
Hey,
like, oh,
we could all possibly, try to do like a stream Saturday night where we will all watch the race. Obviously, we they just get our reactions, but hey, I'm down. It's 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m. I know y'all got to go to sleep, but
Let's
I don't. Uh,
Tomas, let's get a business loan from CN7 and just go build that F1 car and we'll go
you
compete.
yeah,
just
$20
compete right
million.
down Main Street. You know what? Let's add a racetrack right now. Do Main Street to
it's a
Chaparral, man.
it's the freaking
Do the loop at
bypasser on
Chaparral, so
Lovington.
Chaparral go. Dude, I think it feels like that, bro. I think Kimmy takes first place, bro. Just saying, bro. That was the racetrack, bro. I'm just saying, bro.
You're gonna
Look,
see me, bro, in an F1 car. I'm just gonna die going off the straight. I'm not gonna be able to hit the turn just right into the freaking barrier. Boom.
hey, we got to get a video up like when y'all come down. of like y'all trying out F1 25 or 26 whenever 26 comes out, and that'll be like a really cool video for you, like for to see how y'all fare in those cars, because it's really hard to drive. But Luke, what was your reaction? I know you only caught one episode, but I know you'll probably finish it by next week.
I actually finished the whole thing, believe it or not, yesterday. I was like, bro, I was not. I went to class and everything, but I finished it because I'm a committed guy like that, you know. Um, no, I think it was. I don't think it was better than the first season, but I think it was good. It was great. With all the stuff that like, watching the whole season, all the stuff that happened, I think it was nice to get the insight behind the stuff. My big two of my biggest things that were low key, like just like oh, man, like that kind of sucked. Number one, I gotta say the way Red Bull got rid of Christian, man. The way they just kick him to the curb. I know. At the time they weren't doing much. I know, like how you said, with Red Bull, that being that second driver. I mean, I'm sure y'all saw right away. Got rid of um, Lawson, and then you know put in Yuki, and then now Yuki's gone already. It's not an understatement, like you said. It's a seat that you're like you better be on your A game as soon as you get in, and like you better start going because Red Bull is not a team that's like we're gonna or well specifically with Christian, they were like, hey, you can't get us points, you're out, you're gone. What lost 2 races in, and he's like, I would be scared to go. But then you have the teams like Mercedes who like Toto Wolff was like, hey, I know I got a young kid, I'm taking a chance on him. And I mean, granted, I guess I personally think he was probably top 2 of the best rookies that came in last year. I'd probably say I would give him number 1 in all honesty. His attitude towards things. I mean, again, the kid's 18 years old. Like you cannot expect him to be like Lewis Hamilton, who's I don't know how old he is, but 18 years old, and the kids, it was like no, I didn't cry or anything, but it was like sad whenever he was like, in the interview and he was crying, and it's like this, like you don't understand. Like, it was good to like actually realize that this is like these are kids, like not adults, not 24, 25, 30. No, like these are full on kids who just got driver's license, who are still in school. Like I think like that part was amazing to see. The other part to see what was cool was whenever the whole thing about, hey, if Max leaves the market and is off of Red Bull and goes to Mercedes, like that I would have bandwagon. I would have jumped on the Mercedes train easy. Like I'm not even like I will of course would keep my Red Bull stuff, but like as any new merch that comes out, like I'm getting it, at Hollister. Hopefully they bring back their F1 stuff. But it was a great show. I loved it. I liked the intensity it brought, especially when the whole Lando and Oscar fiasco that happened there. I just if I was either one of those drivers, I would have hated Zach's guts. Especially that race was in Canada where Lewis literally tried to pass Piastri, and he's like, I thought I saw a gap, and then everyone's like, dude, the heck, there was no gap, like or the whole thing in Vegas. Um, I think actually a couple of days before that, Marcus was on the phone with Christian. I was like, and you asked what was gonna happen. I was like, bro, Max is gonna come back, like he's gonna win. And then when that whole thing happened, that's what brought Max up to second place. And I was like, oh my, like, did I just call it? And then of course, he didn't end up going and winning, of course. But I think I'm excited. Like I said, it was exciting to watch. To go, watch one episode and then finish the rest of them in one day. I mean, of course, I'm a bigger F1 geek than Caleb and Tomas, even Christian. But like, it's that good where you can. It's an attention grabber, and I'm excited to. I mean, I want them to drop a new episode like every week of the race. That would be awesome. But I loved it. Like I said, it was great. The way that they get so much detail about it, and get into these people's lives, like everyday lives, the wives of the drivers, and how much these kids, these drivers, like are so still like stuck to their parents, or like they have a bad race and it's straight to, I need to go call my mom because like I just did not do good. Like that part's kind of cool because again, like you realize like, yeah, like these kids are going up against 30-year-olds, 45-year-olds. And so it was cool. Like I said, it was cool. I think as far as the show, I think Kimmy is probably going to be your main character in the show. He's awesome. He has a funny accent. Like he's just funny. He's an awesome guy. Um, and I was sorry. One more take, and then I'll switch it. Sorry, but my thing is, I wish they gave more attention to other teams. It felt like it was strictly McLaren. Um, Red Bull didn't even really feel like it was that much, but mainly McLaren and Ferrari. I feel like really had the front seats. I do wish they split more variety of teams. Of course, you don't have you got rid of Kick. Of course, but I hope next season they involve more. Like I wish every team got an episode. I mean, of course, that's gonna be I mean that's only 12 episodes now. It would be, but
8,
that's my take
because
on it.
this
I
is
hope.
this is the first season where they only did 8. Every season before that was 10. And it would have been nice to have an episode, like especially like the last episode where yes, we already know who won, but also just talking about the two new teams that are coming in. Well, one of them is more of a replacement, but like a full episode on Cadillac. Like the first American team in Formula One, what is it, ever? You know what I'm saying? But there are some takes before we go to Christian that as avid Formula One fans, Drive to Survive is kind of boring because we already know what happened, and Drive to Survive caters to the new audience like Caleb and Tomas, and also Drive to Survive is what pulled me, Christian, and Lucas in the first place. So do y'all think that they're going to keep going towards pulling in that market of people that have never watched a One race, or do you think they're going to try to balance that fan never seen a Formula One race type of person? Luke,
Oh
sorry,
my bad.
I'm just
I was like, um, I think based just because of like filming wise, like you kind of have to keep it towards those who don't know. Again, I agree with you that not that it's boring, but it's just like, bro, like I already know what happens in the race. I already know that Lando sells. I already know that he runs into his teammate. I already know that Lando wins it, so it's not all like emotional. That part I do wish you could change, but again, it's like it'd be hard to make an episode after every single race or something, or at the beginning of the episode you have, oh, this team's doing great, and then never come back to them, and then the rest of the way they're you know getting under, they're not even qualifying for points. So I would love if they could do that. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, use Chat GPT to do it. How those high schooler AI kids make a show. But I wish it would change, but based off of like again, just production wise, you can't. But I think it's, like I said, I think it's great for, again, people like Caleb and Tomas who haven't watched a single race or don't know what happened last year. Just I think like for them it's gonna be exciting if they stick through it and watch it. But I mean, it's cool. But I I would say they would want to go for those who already do know it, and for those who. But at the end of the day, that's what the races are for those who do understand it, and the shows for the ones who don't understand it. But I do wish they could change it and do it more of a mixture.
and lastly, Christian, finish us off.
For me, I like the DTS, the Drive to Survive show. I mean, it's what brought me to the F1 world. I remember when I first started, you would call me and I would call you and Marcus, and you would be telling me all this stuff, and I'd be like, what in the world does that even mean, dude? Like, what is this? What is that? What does this mean? What does podium mean? What does P1, P5 mean? All the small things. And when you go back to the DTS and what brought me to the F1 world, yes, do we know what happens in the races? Yes, but me personally, I like the behind the scenes stuff. I've just always been that type of person. So just to see the behind the scenes stuff, and yeah, is it exaggerated? Yeah. Do I care? No, not really. I mean, you want views, you all that stuff, so you're gonna do what you gotta do. But I like the behind the scenes stuff, even though I saw the race. I want to see this other perspective though, and so that's what I like about the rate about the DTS. And then when we have summer break, and then when the new season does come out, you're able to watch those seasons. And it's like, all right, I'm fired up for the new season coming ahead now, and I'm ready to rock and roll and watch fight. Finally, stay up late or wake up early in the morning if I can, and to watch whatever races I'm able to watch. So those are my takes on the DTS. I enjoy them. I like them again because I like the behind the scenes stuff, and it just gets me pumped up and excited for the upcoming season.
I do look forward to the times where me, you, and Luke are gonna go back and forth on teams and our drivers and races. Like, oh, like this happened. I look forward to those arguments because we can't argue about football right now. So until then, our arguments are definitely gonna come about Formula One for sure. But nonetheless, for those of you who have stayed and watched the entire episode, likes up in the chat. I'm just kidding. That's dumb. But nonetheless, like we thank all of you for showing up to our very first live stream, successful live stream as it is. I know that the Wi-Fi is kind of going in and out. Sorry. We're gonna try to get that fixed out for. We're gonna try to get that fixed for the next episode. But nonetheless, we love the fact that you guys joined us, and we are so excited and so happy that you guys joined us for this journey. Next episode, we have so much more to cover with more NFL offseason. The draft I think will be culminated by then, correct? Or that's later on this that's later on this month. Yeah, okay. That's later on this month. Formula One, Australian Grand Prix will already be over. FIFA, everything will be good. We'll have a full recap and everything ready for you guys next week for episode 7. Looking ahead, episode 10, I'm going to tell you guys right now, episode 10 is going to be an absolute mega episode. The amount of like stuff that we have planned, like you guys think it's cool. Like some of y'all might think it's cool that we do this on a recording. Imagine us in the studio. That's all I'm going to tell you. Until then, we will see you guys on the next episode. We love you guys. Anything y'all want to say before we head out, boys? No?
Man, like and subscribe, man.
Awesome. Well, we will catch y'all later. We love y'all. Peace.